people don't like you to mention certain things. Some people don't want you to say this. Some people don't want you to say that. Some people think if you mention some things, they might happen. Some people are really fucking stupid.
Hit me. It's the worst of the Opie and Anthony show.
Damn.
All right, let's say hi to Rich. Big deal.
There you go.
Funny. Hey, Rich.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy's flying somewhere tomorrow?
Hi, Rich. Yes, I am.
All right, Jimmy, listen to me very carefully. You know, I'm an expert on airplane crashes. Just written this book, Air Crashes That Filled Rock and Roll Heaven. Look, there's a safety tip you need to know before you get on that airplane to protect yourself.
Oh.
Are you ready? Here's what you do. And this goes for all you guys. I know you guys do a lot of flying, but, Jimmy, particularly tomorrow, when you get on that airplane,
all right.
When you get on the airplane and you're walking down that little skinny aisle in between all the chairs, I want you to look around the cabin very, very carefully, particularly up in first class. If you see a rock star sitting there, get off the airplane.
Why? Aren't they only killed on private, like those smaller planes?
Actually, most of them have died on small chartered airplanes. Walter Hyatt of Uncle Walt's band, he was actually killed on the flight that went down in the Everglades a few years ago. That was one of the few commercial flights that has taken the life of a
Value Jet?
Value Jet, right?
Value Jet crash, yeah.
There was also a soap star on that plane, too, right? Or there was some soap guy, I think, on that plane.
You know what? If they want a rock singer, I don't know about him.
Oh, okay. Good man.
Hey, Rich, your goal on the show today is to scare the hell out of Jim Norton, because he hates flying as is.
Don't scare Jimmy.
We're going to take care of that right now.
I won't be scared. I've flown enough, and I'm obsessed with plane crashes, and so I definitely read a lot and watch a lot about them, and I feel pretty safe on Continental.
You know, the commercial airlines, you're safer there than in your own bed, particularly in Jimmy's case, rather than his own bed.
Hey, this guy listens to the show.
What about
planes that tend to get the rock stars, the private chartered planes?
Well, let me ask you a question, because I'm an Ozzy fanatic. So Randy Rhoads obviously killed in 82.
Yeah. Very bad.
What was the story behind? I heard he was afraid of flying and then just took a flight with someone. What was the story behind Rhoads?
He had a knucklehead for a pilot.
Okay.
That's what happened to him. They had pulled into Leesburg, Florida to do a show at a stadium down there. The guy who drove their bus was also a pilot. Now, you got to trust yourself in an airplane with your bus driver?
Right, of course not.
They did. Went out to the airport. He was going to take several members of Ozzy's entourage just up for a little, fun day of flying. He took one group up, buzzed a few houses, did some mild aerobatics, landed, and then picked Randy Rhoads and a makeup artist for Ozzy up in the airplane. They took off, buzzed the house near where Ozzy's bus was parked, came back around, buzzed the bus again while Ozzy and Sharon were asleep on the bus. The second time they came around, flew too low. The wing of the airplane that Randy was in actually struck the bus where Ozzy and Sharon were sleeping.
Okay.
Took the wing off, cartwheeled the airplane into the house across the street. Ozzy and Sharon woke up from the noise, walked outside to see this conflagration in front of them and the tail of an airplane sticking out of it with Randy Rhoads burning inside.
Yeah, she was Sharon's best friend, too, the makeup artist that was killed.
That's correct. Yeah. Terrible, terrible tragedy. And simply a case of what they call, it's one of the most common causes of an airplane crash. It's called low maneuvering flight, low and slow maneuvering. And it's extremely dangerous, and you have to be very highly qualified to do it, and apparently this pilot was not.
Wow. What an idiot. Jesus Christ. You figure you're flying a goddamn airplane, you got to be at the top of your game and not pull any shenanigans. That sounded like he was pulling some shenanigans.
Yeah, particularly when you're doing low-level flight where you have very little time or room to recover if anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you leave to the stunt pilots at air shows.
He was just showing off, and he clipped the bus.
Apparently so, yeah.
How about Skinner, Leonard Skinner? That was 77, right? That was on a charter plane?
Skinner, oh, my God, what a crash. Artemus Pyle, Leonard Skinner's drummer, was very helpful in writing this chapter because he is not only a survivor and band member, he is also a licensed pilot and had flown that airplane, and so he could talk about in the book Falling Stars not only what happened from the view of a survivor, but also from the view of a pilot, what was going on inside the airplane. He was actually in the cockpit with the pilots when both motors on their airplane went out simultaneously.
Wow.
He said the pilot turned to him, and you could see the terror in his eyes. And he said, Artemus, if you want to live, you better go in the back and buckle up. And at that moment, Artemus told me, he felt the hand of destiny on his shoulder because both his father and father-in-law had died in airplane crashes.
Oh, I thought Destiny was a hippie chick on the plane banging all the guys.
Yeah, go find Destiny.
Felt the hand of Destiny on his shoulder and then the mouth of Destiny on her penis.
This is your last shot at it, buddy.
Hey,
Groovy.
Now, you want something that'll really give you the spooks? I know we're already past Halloween.
Hold on, let us get some jokes through our heads first.
Wait, something that will give us the spooks.
All right. Ed King. Ed King was a guitar player for Leonard Skinner, one of the original guitar army, they called them. They had 3 guitar players. Ed King was not on the airplane. He has one of those stories that some people can tell about, hey, I was supposed to have been on that plane.
Right, everyone's got one of those.
He retired shortly before the tour, the final tour, which, ironically, if you'll recall, was called the Survivors Tour.
Oh, that's right.
So Ed was not on the airplane. He retired. They hired a guy named Steve Gaines to replace him. Steve Gaines is on the plane in Ed King's seat. The plane goes down. Steve Gaines is killed.
Ouch.
Ed King began thinking about it later and decided, Steve Gaines, sitting in my seat, played my solos in the concert. He felt a kinship with him. Decided to go to Steve Gaines' grave and pay his private, personal respects. So in the book Falling Stars, Air Crashes That Filled Rock and Roll Heaven, we quote Ed King as to what happened at Steve Gaines' grave. He goes to Steve Gaines' grave, looks down at the tombstone of the man who took his place in the band, played his parts in the concert, and was sitting in his seat on the airplane and died in his place. And on the tombstone, he was astonished to see they share exactly the same birth day, month, and year.
Okay.
And then the hand came out of the grave and grabbed him.
Grabbed him by the ankle.
I tried to run away.
It's weird. A lot of these crashes have just strange little ironies, coincidences, and oddities.
Hey,
like
but
this
before you get into that, what happened to the Leonard Skinner plane? How did that go down?
Well, they lost both engines.
You're not going to believe this.
Lost both engines?
Yes,
How the hell does that happen?
When you pull up to the gas pump, if you're ready to take a long trip, what do?
Hey,
fill her up.
give me some gas, right?
I go into the rest area and meet someone. Oh, sorry.
The Leonard Skinner airplane gave out of gas.
It was just out. It ran out of gas.
It just
Come on.
out of gas miles from their destination, crashed into a swamp in southern Mississippi right at nightfall.
Well, did the pilot sense that they were running out of gas, or was there a problem with the fuel gauge?
Well, he did when the motors stopped.
That was the first indicator. Like he didn't
What
see
an
the
idiot.
red.
Apparently, that was the first indication the pilots had.
I've never
that
heard
they
this
had,
before, that they
low
ran out
fuel.
of gas.
It must have been the fuel gauge was messed up.
I heard it was an old plane. Someone else had that plane before Skinner, right?
Well, yeah, what happened was they actually had tried to lease Jerry Lee Lewis's airplane. They had, on the previous tours, they'd been flying in Jerry Lee Lewis's airplane. At the last moment, the deal for his airplane fell through, so the leasing company found them another plane, sort of a lesser cousin to the plane that they wanted. And as Artemis says in the book Falling Stars, he said, so we went out to the airport. We knew it wasn't as good a plane as we wanted, but by golly, we got out there, and they had painted the Leonard Skinner logo across the nose cone, and hey, who could resist that? So they took a plane that they didn't actually want. And it ended up, it had a bad right engine, was spewing fire out of the right engine, and apparently was burning a lot more fuel than that motor was supposed to be burning.
Oh, so maybe that's why they ran out.
Yeah, and the pilots had not monitored the fuel carefully. And, boy, apparently the first thing they knew, it ran out of gas. And when you go back and listen to or read the transcripts of the pilots talking to air traffic control, which we put in the book, clearly the first indication of any trouble was when the motors stopped running.
That's a good indication.
That would tip me off right there.
Hey, what about John Denver's crash?
Boy, John Denver.
What a dope. Wasn't it like a homemade airplane or something like that?
Yeah, it was. It's a great airplane, and in fact, it's designed by a guy named Burt Rutan. Does that ring a bell?
Sure does.
Burt Rutan just won the X Prize for inventing and putting the first private spaceship up into space.
How great would it have been to send John Denver into space
John Denver
and leave him
to go
there?
into space. He tried. The Civilians in Space program, he was instrumental in getting that going because he wanted to go into space. And up until the very last moment, he thought he was going to be the first civilian in space. But ultimately, Ronald Reagan chose Christa McAuliffe Instead,
yes, we all know how well
John
that
Denver's
worked
life.
out.
Yeah, saved
Yes.
John Denver's life, that he was not on board the shuttle that blew up. But John Denver's airplane, a fabulously designed airplane, it's called a Long Easy. It's made out of modern composite materials, a two-place airplane. You sit front and back. The motor is in the back. The little wing is on the front. The big wing is in the back. It kind of looks like it's flying backwards when you see it fly.
A canard.
A canard design. That's exactly
Yes.
right. It looks very futuristic, but if you remember, the canard design actually goes all the way back to the Wright Flyer. They had a canard on the Wright Flyer, the very first motorized airplane. John Denver made a series of fundamental mistakes on the day he flew. He was actually piloting his own airplane by himself. He made so many simple, dumb mistakes that some of the investigators actually wanted to investigate that crash not as a crash, but as a suicide.
Oh.
They could not believe that someone as highly qualified to fly airplanes as John Denver would make that many dumb mistakes in a row.
And what were the
heard
mistakes?
a couple of his songs.
Suicide.
Yeah. What were the mistakes?
Well, the first thing, he had very little experience in that airplane. He had picked it up the day before, only had about an hour of training in the airplane. Now, this is an experimental home-built airplane. In other words, one of a kind. And the guy who had built it, he didn't build it himself, another guy built it, had deviated from the design that Burt Rutan had drawn. The big problem had to do with the fuel control valve. Now, on an airplane, you have fuel tanks in each wing, and you have a switch you have to throw to get the fuel flowing from either the right or the left tank.
Yeah.
That switch on this airplane is supposed to be between the pilot's knees.
Right.
Make up your own joke about that. The pilot flies the airplane with his right hand, and he can reach down and continue to fly the plane, reach down with his left hand and throw the switch to change tanks if he starts to run out.
Yeah.
Well, on John Denver's airplane, the man who built it didn't want the fuel switch between his knees because that meant he had to run fuel lines into the cockpit. So he cleverly put the fuel valve in the rear of the airplane along with the motor behind the firewall.
Yeah, there you go. That's smart.
A little problem with that. You can't reach it. So what he did was he designed this Rube Goldbergish system of rods and U-joints that went from the fuel control valve in the rear of the airplane all the way up through the rear cabin, through the front cabin, and mounted a remote handle above the pilot's left shoulder. So when John Denver got in the air, before he got in the air, he did not realize how low his fuel was. He took off with almost no fuel.
Over.
He had been offered, a mechanic came over and offered to fill the plane up. He says, no, I've got enough fuel.
Yeah.
Couldn't read the fuel gauges. They were in the cockpit behind him.
Descriptions in real time.
I know, dude. You're losing the audience. You were doing great.
At any rate,
I mean,
what
the
happened was,
details
he ran out of
killing
gas.
us.
He couldn't get the fuel switch to turn. While he fought with it, he inadvertently pushed his right rudder pedal, nosed the plane over, hit Monterey Bay at over 200 miles an hour.
How high was he when he plummeted?
500 feet.
That's it?
He didn't have much room to recover.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I'm flying and my tanks are running dry. I'm plummet.
John Denver, had he accepted the fact that
Yeah.
he was not going to be able to turn the fuel gauge and get more fuel going, and accepted that the plane was not going to restart, and had simply ditched the airplane in the water, as pilots are trained to do.
Was he a hero steering away from the people? I love when they say that.
Yeah.
The guy's probably just trying anything to get his plane flying again when they hit the water, and it's like, he was a hero. He avoided the populated part of the beach.
What else could the great Santini have done? Hey, sports fans.
No, actually, he probably never knew he was going down. He was turned backwards fighting this fuel valve. But had he just ditched in the water, that airplane is not made out of metal. It's made out of foam wrapped in fiberglass. He could have simply popped the hatch, and as they towed him to shore, enjoyed the sun shining on his shoulders.
Not
What do you
at
mean?
200 miles an hour.
You can kind of belly flop it in there?
Yeah, you can. It's ditching. You call it ditching, and pilots are trained to do that.
Well, Bull Meacham tried to, but he wound up getting over the water, and his plane, he just went down.
Well, that's what happens sometimes.
Oh, my goodness. You can only hope he spun around at the last minute and saw the ocean there 6 inches from his face.
What happened with JFK Jr., even though he's not a rock star? Besides the fact that he had a bum leg and he's trying to work a pedal at
His
night.
girlfriend was yapping to him and yapping on the cell phone and distracting the hell out of him. That's what happened.
Apparently, JFK Jr., The cause of his crash is the same thing that caused the Buddy Holly crash and the Patsy Cline crash and so many others.
Patsy Cline died in a plane crash?
Yes, along with Hawkshaw Hawkins and
all those hillbillies.
Two other great country music singers.
What's
all
her big song?
Hillbillies.
Crazy.
Oh, crazy, okay.
Yeah.
And there is no truth to the rumor that her hit record at the time was I Fall to Pieces. No truth to that whatsoever.
Let me ask you, now Otis Redding died in a crash. Did he really die right after Dock of the Bay?
He did. And
yeah,
in fact,
and they found him in the lake, and they dug ahead. You can tell us.
Yeah, Lake Monona up in Madison, Wisconsin. And let me correct a terrible misunderstanding about the Otis Redding crash.
He wasn't really black?
Otis Redding did not die in a plane crash.
Would he drown?
Otis Redding's plane went into the water, and almost everyone on board survived the crash and then drowned before help could get to them.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, how about that for a bad day? You survive a plane crash, and then you drown before anybody can get to you. Oddly enough, one person survived that crash. Their trumpet player, Ben Cawley, survived and lived to actually tell the story of exactly what happened.
Wouldn't be a bad fate compared to sitting here.
He was the only non-swimmer in the bunch.
Who was?
Ben Cawley, the single survivor of that crash.
He wasn't a swimmer. How did he survive?
He grabbed onto a chair.
I think I'd rather be on a
floated.
plane at this point.
How?
He grabbed onto a chair, and it floated. A chair out of the airplane, and he just hung on for dear life.
Now, let me ask you, Jim Croce, what happened with his plane?
Jim Croce. Now, a lot of people forget, Jim Croce was not nearly as popular alive as he became after he died. It was one of those weird things.
Hello?
What happened with his plane?
Okay. Jim Croce, the last song he recorded was a song, see if you remember this song, called I Got a Name.
Yeah, of course.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name. That's the lead line to the song.
And the croaking
tone. He played in concert before he got on the airplane.
When you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea.
The pilot took off
It makes
and
it so much more interesting
a
for the
stand
listener.
of trees lining a winding road, and the subsequent publicity made him a household name.
Oh, all right. So if it had crashed into a junkyard, they would have been comparing him with Leroy Brown.
To Leroy Brown. There's always something. You got to make something out of this.
All right, listen. This has been wonderful, Rich.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Falling Stars and Crashes That Filled Rock and Roll Heaven.
Shut up!
All right. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Hey, man, I've enjoyed it. And
Thanks
Jimmy,
very much, man.
Stop whining.
Jimmy, stay off the airplane if there's a rock star there.
Stop
I
it!
know. I would like to sit next to him, though, maybe get a picture like I did with 50 Cent.
Oh,
I'll be
no,
telling
man,
that story
you
in
know-
Sacramento this weekend.
Jimmy, you know what'll happen.
Quiet.
If you sit next to a rock star, you'll simply be the second half of a headline that begins, also killed in the crash.
Shut up! Stop it!
Enough! Stop whining. All right, Rich. We're all going to go and buy Falling Stars, okay?
All righty, man.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys have a good one.
Bye,
thanks,
mister.
Rich.
We'll see you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my God. This guy's... It says, this guy sounds like the movie phone guy. For John Denver's crash, press 1.
All right. Wow.
Am I tired?
How could you
Silent
not be
game.
after that?
No,
No, it was
Wow.
good. It was good, but then he got too technical. We don't have good attention spans on this show.
Who was piloting Redding's plane? Susan Smith. That's funny.
Yeah, we'll bring in the couch.
Tool bag from New Orleans. That's very funny.
Why don't we bring in the couch next?
Can a rock star please crash this plane into this guy's house? Talk about drowning. How about the show? The listener's really enjoying it. Ping pong.
It was good for a while, no?
I thought I liked the Randy Rhoads story.
Oh, Sean Smith from Philly, could you please put the Kerry speeches back on? Oh, that is really funny. Oh, did you guys bring back Bad Guest Day and not tell us? I'm just reading instant feedbacks. That's all.
It started off good.
Why wasn't this guy on John Denver's plane? Have Pity shoot us in the head. When's the gag coming?
Not everything has to be a gag. I thought there was some good information there.
It was.
Please play the Hulk music. Please. Silent game. Turn it off, turn it off, one guy writes.
That would have been great.
Punch out, punch out.
We punched out. Just took a while.
I'm giving myself a stroke. Could you play some Skinnerd over this guy? Wow.
They
He
didn't.
overpronounces everything just like Steve C.
They didn't like that.
Leonard Skinner. Both of their engines just shut off.
Dude, I haven't seen this much instant feedback ever. Jesus Christ, wacky voice alert. Is this Don West on the phone? It's cool to see you brought back for that guest day.
Who cares? Get this douchebag off the air. Oh, God. This guy is so boring. I want to go down in a fiery plane crash.
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen so much instant feedback for a guest? Look at that. He was a hit.
Hey, we had a couple effing earlier. This is the balance that I talk about on this show.
My ears are bleeding. No, no, no.
If he keeps talking, we won't have to read the book. What a jackass. That is the truth. If you're an author, you got to, like, say something for the reader. Oh.
There's not enough methamphetamine in the world to keep you awake when this guy is talking. Wow. Wow, just hammered.
We're getting killed.
I think his book would make a good read.
I do, too.
Perhaps him, talking about it on the air.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
what actually happened to the pilot of the Skinner plane. He was in the cockpit talking to him, and he just dozed off and hit the fuel gauge with his forehead. And I realized that was going to bomb, so I figured the more words I put in, the more likely something funny would be to show up.
Oh, my God.
It didn't happen.
Is there any way he can get inside the phone receiver and crash the fucking phone? People, wow, they have responded.
Yeah, they kind of liked it, I think.
Yeah, I think they enjoyed it.
They enjoyed it.
Frenchie is funnier. Well, I don't think he was trying to be funny. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Your comments right here on the Opie and Anthony Show.
This guy sounds like every big voice DJ you guys ever made fun of.
He did have the jock voice.
Yes.
That's right, everybody. Playing the hits and popping the zest.
And let me tell you, you will be reading about it in Falling Stars. Air crashes that filled rock and roll heaven.
All right, well.
No, that was good.
Yeah,
Come on.
I think that was one of our better interviews.
I like the guy.
Yeah.
Apparently our listeners, you got quite a reaction from the listeners.
May I help you?
Yes, butt plugs?
Who?
Butt plugs, please.
Spark plug, just a moment. Hardware, how can I help you?
Butt plugs?
What is it?
Butt plugs.
A what box?
Butt plugs.
A bud box?
Butt plugs.
I'm not following what you're saying.
Butt plugs.
I have a bad connection. I don't understand. What is it?
Butt plugs.
Bud box? Is it like a receptacle you're talking about?
Butt plugs, yeah.
What kind of plug is it? A spark plug you're talking about?
Butt plugs.
Oh, hold on. Hello. What are you looking for?
Butt plug?
Spark plug. What kind?
Butt plug.
What kind of a spark plug?
No, butt plug.
I just don't understand you, sir. I'm sorry.
Butt plug?
A spark plug.
Butt plug.
Bug plug?
Butt plug.
Never heard of it. What do you use it for?
Butt plug.
Huh?
Butt plug.
What do you use it for, sir?
Butt plug. Butt plug. Butt plug. Butt plug.
Yeah. Butt lug?
Butt plug.
I know,
butt
but
plug.
what do you use it on? What do you use it in? I'm trying to
Butt plug. Butt plug.
Yeah, okay, I got you a spark plug. There's all kinds of spark plugs.
Butt plug. Butt plug. Butt plug.
Butt?
Butt plug.
Sorry, sir, we don't understand what you want.
Butt plug. Butt plug.
I don't know. We don't carry that.
Butt plug?
Yeah, we don't carry it.
Thank you.
All right.
Our duties Our duties Our duties have destructive power.
If you think it stinks now, you should have seen it a month ago.
The Opie and Anthony Show. Here's Opie and Anthony when they aren't stinking.
Ooh, who took their shoes off? It's a little stinky in here.
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
The first time on the brand new radio show, it's Carlos Mencia. Carlos.
What is up, studs?
Carlos. Are you calling from L.A.?
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles, so it's like the crack of my ass dawn here.
I know. That's what sucks about us doing morning radio. All our friends in L.A. have to get up nice and early or don't go to bed to talk to us.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing yesterday, except my wife, it was my birthday on October 22nd, which was Friday, and she flew in, like, people that I didn't know just out of nowhere. It was like a surprise. So I wanted to get crazy yesterday, but her family was upstairs, dude.
Yeah.
You guys doing that fucking song?
I thought it would, help the mood.
Yeah, we're trying to wake you up a little bit, Carlos.
No, I'm fine, dude. I'm awake.
All right.
I was awake yesterday, too. I was just afraid to throw out a big fat funk on the radio.
Hey, are you calling us from your living room?
No.
I hear the echo, because I've been in Carlos's house in L.A., and he's got...
Oh, you have, Opie?
He's got, when I was kind of quantum leaping all over America in our time off, I hung out with Carlos a little bit in L.A., and he's got the biggest living room I've ever seen. You could play, tennis in his living room.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
It's fucking big in there, isn't it?
It's huge, so... so they threw you a surprise party?
Yeah, it was awesome. Which normally I hate surprises, man. But it was cool. I just was so scared to say something. Because they don't know me like that. You know what I mean? I'm like the Ned to them. I'm like, oh, Ned, he's so nice, and he treats our daughter nice, and he's got this big house, and oh, look how cute he is, and they don't know Carlos like that, man. So I was like, guys, I can't do this today, because it's too much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
But
you sound very sleepy.
No, I'm fine, dude. Do I sound sleepy?
Yeah, you got that just woke up voice.
Yeah, because we've been up for about 4.5 hours. So.
I used to have the just woke up voice when I tried to call in sick for work, or call in with car trouble because I was late and I was going to show up at 10 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock, and I just woke up and I had to call the boss, and I'd be like, yeah, no, I got car trouble. Yeah, the battery's dead, but I've been out for 2 hours trying to get it started. And he knew I was lying because I just had that gravelly morning voice. That's kind of what you're sporting there.
Yeah, well, whatever, dude. It's 5 o'clock. What do you expect?
5 o'clock. That's true.
Look, you know what? It's easy to have a happy voice when you just made $6,000 fucking in your sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony.
Hey, believe me, I lose it too. There've been plenty of times I've lost.
I made $90,000. I started with 10.
That's a good day.
And I'm the retarded beaner having because I'm starting to make decent money. So what I have is the opposite. I have all these other guys coming up and going, you need to invest, and you need to put it in this, and this is a great stock, and and I'm going, I don't fucking know any of that.
Carlos, we were just talking about that last week on the show, because we got people like that coming after us. We're like, we don't need retirement funds. We don't need 401k. Shut up.
Oh, you guys are dude, I'm getting that all over, and I'm getting that all over the place now. Oh, you need to invest and fund it, and then you can put money in and take it out, but it's really a loan, so you're not paying any money back. Yeah. And I'm going, what the fuck is this shit? Can I just get some tacos, put them in the freezer, and eat them later on in the microwave?
Yeah, I just want...
Just put the money in the bank and leave it there.
I just want enough money in my ATM account. That's all I care about. They're like, you now need life insurance. You now need to make a will. Anthony made a great point. He wants he's not going to make a will, and he wants his family to just fight over his money when he goes.
I want some excitement for my family. I want them just at each other's throat. A loving family that we've loved each other for years and years and years, our entire lives. I don't remember one family dispute, and I just want that torn asunder when I go. I want them clawing at each other's eyeballs for every possession I have.
Or give it to the one sibling that the rest of the family knew that you just hated.
Or one relative that
one relative, yeah. Right.
That's a good one.
The opposite.
Yeah.
I'm going to give, one of my sisters a little bit more than the other sister.
Resentment.
A little bit less than the other sister, because I want to... If there is a life after death, I want to see that look on their eyes when, that why the fuck do you get $3,000 more?
What did she do?
This is bullshit. I carried that little motherfucker when he had a broken arm. You didn't do shit,
Whose couch did he sleep on? Whose couch was he sleeping on when he didn't even have a goddamn house?
Exactly.
Yep.
I want that. When he was broken, he started doing comedy. I was the one that lent him a car. He took my car. How could you get more than me? Oh, I'm going to laugh my ass because I already get that.
Comics are the worst because you guys just pretty much didn't have any life before comedy, and you get into comedy because you're too lazy to actually have a real job. So there's a point in every comic's life where they pretty much have nothing. No car, no place to live. You're sapping off your friends. And then when you kind of make good, sometimes these people expect things, and when you finally go, leave them nothing, because they're probably expecting it. Surprise, jack off, you get nothing. The people whose couches I slept on, the people who drove me places, nothing.
Dude, I'm already getting that. That's why I'm laughing. I'm already getting, like, the brother that's pissed off, you know what I mean? Because, like, my favorite brother right now is my brother Joseph, who's, like, he used to be, you know, a gambler, an addict, and he was, you know, always drunk. But he was the guy that when I first started doing comedy was, like, down because I was the opposite. I was, like, the smart kid, you know what I mean? I was a straight-A student. I was going to college. I was getting my degree in engineering, and my mom and everybody was like, all right, he's the one. He's the one that's going to college. He's the one that's going to make it. He's taking us over the top as a family. And then when I started, you know, doing stand-up, my family was, what are you doing, you retard? You jokes.
Throw it away, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my mom was like, why can't you just get a job and tell jokes to your goddamn people at the work? And I was like, Mom, I'm doing stand-up. No idea whatsoever. But my brother Joseph, the drunk guy, he didn't care. He was high and drunk. So he was like, leave him alone, man. He wants to do the clown. They let him do the clown. But it was cool to me because it was like, hey, he was my backup. And now my brothers, like the older ones, it used to be like, you know, we used to take you to soccer when you were little. We used to take you to the movies when you were little.
Got to remind you, yeah.
You give money to Joseph, the drunk fucker. And I was like, hey, man, he was there for me, bitch.
He was there for you, all right.
So now I'm doing this, now, like, I'm working on this TV show with Comedy Central, and I'm actually making Joseph a part of the show. My family is pissed, dude. Pissed.
Well, you got, what, you got like 12 or 13 brothers and sisters, too, right?
18.
Oh, you'd go broke.
What, 18?
There's 18 of us.
He'd go broke then. He can't. He's got to pick and choose.
He's got 18 kids in his family. That isn't, and all from the same parents, right?
11 sisters and 6 brothers.
11 sisters and 6 brothers. From the same mom, right?
Yeah, but not the same dad. There's a couple of different dads.
Yeah, but your mom had 18 births?
Jesus.
No way.
How do you do that, dude?
Come on, no way.
How do you do that?
Exactly, dude.
How is she able to hold the last few in for term?
She's doing the dishes and goes, oh, can someone pick that one up? Jesus.
That up.
I was 17th born, and this is a true story. When I was born, dude, like, my mom didn't have a midwife. She didn't have a doctor. I think when
she also didn't have a pussy at that point.
Joe. Jeez, man.
Sorry, dude. I know it's your mom, but jeez.
Guy's mom.
I do apologize, but I couldn't help that.
Don't, dude.
Because everyone's thinking it. My God.
My mom's like a fucking uterus with a head. How do you have that many kids, dude?
That's just
amazing. That is a factory.
So what happened when you were born?
When I was born, my mom, there was nobody to deliver the baby. Actually, my mom said, God, I'm thirsty for milk. And this lady who was hanging out with my mom left. And when she came back, I was born. Everything was out. The cord was cut. And my mom was sitting there going, it came out. And the lady freaked out. And that's how loose, I guess.
Are you trying to say your mom's loose? What's wrong with you?
Jesus. Here's the sad part. I'm 17th born.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty big sized head. So my dad's pissed at me. My dad's actually made jokes about me, like, look at your fucking head. You're the one that ruined it. It wasn't that bad up until you. And I'm going,
yeah.
You gotta be fucking, she had 17 kids before me and I'm the one that fucked it up.
It's your head.
Yeah. You're the only kid in the family that has a perfectly round head.
Yeah. Everybody else was a cone head.
That's what I'm saying, man. Everyone else has the oval head. Carlos has the perfect circle head.
Yeah. 16 kids went through there and it was fine, but you had to fucking stretch it out a little too much.
Carlos was actually able to cartwheel out.
I used to say that for the last 6 months I was in there, I was actually fucking holding on.
So your mom had kids from what age to what age?
My mom had kids from, I think the first one was 15, so she's Hispanic. Let's just throw that out there. I think the first one was at 15 and the last one was at 44.
Oh, man. Just about 30 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That 44, dude. And, 44 back in 1970-something. So, this wasn't like now where women are having babies that old. I mean, my mom was, dude, she's and I go, Dad, why'd you guys have so many kids? Because when I got older, I was pretty smart. So I go, hey, Dad, why'd you guys have so many kids? Is it because, where you guys come from, there's no Social Security, and you guys, pretty much tell us that when you get older, we got to take care of you, and, is that such a big deal? And it's because you're Catholic? And my dad goes, no, your mom doesn't like to suck dick.
That's what you want to hear from your pops. Oh, God. Thanks for the visual, Dad. That's hilarious.
Well, but dude, my parents are like that, though. I mean, my mom and dad talk about sex. Dude, I kid you not, my dad about a month and a half ago, he had that, he had this, he had an inflamed prostate or something, and he had like a little tiny cyst in his prostate.
Ow.
So he's having problems, and, he got it removed and stuff, and everything's cool, and, it wasn't cancerous, but he's having, erectile dysfunction problems.
Well, thank God.
Yeah. So here's how I find out. This is no bullshit. We're having dinner with my mom and dad, and everybody's here, and we're all, and my mom keeps laughing. And I go, Mom, what's the matter? And she goes, your father, he had to go to a doctor today. And I go, Mom, that's not even funny, man. I mean, my dad had an operation. And she goes, no, that's not the doctor that he went to. He went to the pee-pee doctor because he can't get it up no more.
Oh.
Dude, in the middle of dinner, and I'm going, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Oh, you don't want to hear that. No.
And I go, Dad, you can't get it up? And my mom goes, no, the doctor said it was fine. It's the other doctor that told him he's fucked up. And I go, the other doctor? And I'm looking at my dad, and his face is fucking melting. And my sister goes, he had to go to a psychiatrist.
To figure out why he can't get it up anymore?
Yeah, dude.
How old is he?
He's, 67?
Is he?
And I'm fucking finding this out at the dinner table, dude. I'm just going, this is wrong, man.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
At the dinner table? My dad just, and then my dad gets mad and he goes, I'm going to get it up and I'm going to fuck you in the ass.
Oh.
Dude, this is at my dinner table, dude. Okay, the table that you saw.
Yeah. I'm biting my lip because I can tell you why your father is not getting it up anymore. But I got a million of them. But no, I'm not gonna go there, man. Jesus.
Oh, you want to talk about my mom and how she looks like a troll? I love my mom.
Jeez. I've never seen your mom.
You've never seen my mom?
I don't think so.
Well, what are you going to say about my mom?
I'm not going to say anything.
What are you going to talk about?
It was just some comments.
Vagina?
Well, yeah, I had a few lines, sure.
Yeah, maybe a little stitch or two to tighten that up might help him out.
Yeah, that might help him out a little bit.
That might be it. Well, I think my mom actually now does go down on my dad, from what I hear.
Oh, that's nice.
You guys got an open family.
There you go.
Everything.
That's a great visual.
Thanks.
Dude, I'm not kidding you. This is my family. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, you tell those jokes and they're funny. Dude, when I remember being like 9 or 10, dude, and my dad and mom were really, really loud one morning. And I woke up, and my sister, Olga, was like, Mom, Dad, is everything okay? And my dad came down the stairs, and he goes, why? And we're like, because, it was really loud up in your room. It sounds like somebody fell. And he paused, and he actually, did this, little dance. And we're like, what are you doing, stupid? And he was like, I gave it to your mother. And I was like, oh, gross, dude.
You don't want to hear that as a kid.
You don't want to hear your dad say this. And this is what he said. She wanted breakfast, and I gave her huevos con chorizo. Like, dude, that is just wrong, man.
You Latinos are all horny motherfuckers, man.
Dude, I don't even...
You guys are just out of control.
And you know what? Like, when you have this many, you can't fight it. You can't fight it, when people, I mean, that's why I go with the jokes, It's like you're biting your lip. I'm like, why? My mom has 18 kids, dude. Let the jokes roll. At least she can defend herself.
I don't want to make fun of your mom's twat.
Why not?
You shouldn't even be saying that.
I know. But we're on XM Satellite Radio. You can say that word now.
Yeah.
All right.
My dad actually makes jokes. This is how I do a joke about roast beef, Arby pussy lips. You know where I got him? My dad took me to Arby's once, and he actually took one of those little flappy, pieces of meat.
The Arby's sandwich, sure.
Yeah, and he started making jokes about how I look like my mom's snack.
Oh. Did you gobble up that roast beef sandwich?
Dude, it was...
Get a good one.
And he did it as I was like putting that horseradish, whitish kind of sauce on it.
Yeah.
It just, at that moment, dude, it looked so vagina yeasty. I just couldn't go there, dude. I couldn't eat the sandwich, man.
As long as it doesn't also smell like Arby's. You certainly don't want that.
Speaking of smell like Arby's, I met a chick last week in El Paso, Texas, that had a tattoo of a fish right on top of her pussy. Like maybe an inch to the right and to the left of her pussy. She had a fish. And I looked at it and I went, is that a fish? And she goes, it's cute, huh? And I'm like, do you not know what we already fucking say that smells like? Are you retarded? I'm like, is that a scratch and sniff?
Yeah, she should have a tattoo of a rose instead.
Yeah,
What's wrong with her?
I said, what do you have, a little tattoo of a piece of shit next to your ass? What are you, stupid?
Very good.
Is that retarded or what?
That is retarded. All right, Carlos, we're going to let you be and get back to bed, all right?
Oh, yeah. Now that you woke me up with the smell of my mom and the giant vagina. Hey, Carlos, I like your house. By the way, your mom's got a giant twat.
I didn't say that.
You did say that.
Not really.
I'm not going to tell her, bro.
All right, Carlos. You the man. You want to promote anything?
What am I doing this week? Yeah, I'm going to be... You know what? Go to my website, carlosmencia.com.
Okay.
There it is, man. And guys, it's so fun to hear you on the radio, except for those extra $2 or $3 I got to pay to fucking hear you.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the company's kind of hiding us right now. They're a little scared of us, we think.
Is that why they charge the extra $2 for you guys?
Yeah, they're kind of keeping us. They're kind of keeping us top secret, I think.
Good idea.
We're the top secret weapon.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it as hard as possible for us to hear the radio show. That's a very smart business strategy.
Keep us in the missile silo.
Yeah, we're kind of hidden right now. I truly believe they're just not proud of us yet. They're still trying to figure out what we're all about. So.
But you guys are getting like a piece of those $2.
I think we get like a penny or something because we have Super Agent Bob Eatman on the case.
Yeah.
So. You're kidding me.
No, I don't think we get any of that, to tell you the truth.
No, I don't know.
No, because that's why, I mean, part of me going, I got to pay extra $2. Oh, they're my buds. It's cool,
It all figures out in the end. They pay us, and they're making money from the $2, and it goes to us somehow, so.
Yeah, we're just kind of hidden right now, so we'll see what happens.
Well, you know what? You guys, honestly, I've been listening to the show, and you guys sound great, man.
Thanks,
Carl. You really do sound great. And it's tough because I was thinking, with what they call shock jocks, when the shock is gone and you just, what's going to happen? But it's great, dude. It's so awesome, man. Just that moment where in your head you're going, God, I want to talk about Carlos's mom's twat.
Well, now we can.
Exactly.
And we did.
And we did. All right, Carlos, we're going to let you be.
All right, guys.
We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, guys.
All right, there he goes. Our old friend Carlos Mencia.
El Radio con Queso Grande presenta Señor Opie y Anthony.
Dude, what happened?
The Opie and Anthony Show.
It'll knock you on your goddamn ass.
Jesus Christ, what an anticlimactic piece of crap that was.
Here's Opie and Anthony when they don't suck.
Good for what ails you, what?
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
We had Eric Logan come into town and give us a little pep talk.
Little pep talk. Sat right here in the studio.
He really
because
doesn't
our
know.
office isn't done.
He really doesn't know who he's dealing with. He's giving us a little pep talk and using all this corporate lingo. Anthony and I are looking at each other going, what?
Nothing against Eric, but I nodded off twice. I was scared I was going to snore. And it's nothing against, I mean, anyone could be in here. Tony Danza could be in here with all his thrill and, okay, maybe I should pick someone else.
Yeah. Well, the applause would wake you.
Right. But I twice, I found myself opening my eyes and going, oh, my God, how long was I out? Twice I did it. And then I had to, like, get up, lean forward, and contribute something to the meeting.
Well, he had a lot of analogies. The 2 bucket thing.
A lot of corporate analogy talk, yeah.
Yeah, 2 buckets. One of the things we can control, one of the things we can't control. Let's look at what we can do with this bucket. It was the worst.
It sunk in on you, though, Jimmy. You remember it.
Yeah, let's
I'll tell you why,
the
because
bucket with the things we can control.
There are some things we can't control, and those just have to be put aside. Perhaps later they will go into the we can control it bucket. But right now, they're in the bucket of things we can't control.
Well, there's this other bucket that's empty over here, and that's the things that we can control.
See, one bucket has Jimmy's plummeting T-cell count in it. Those are things we can't control. And in the other one, there's condoms and things that he could have used. Right. Those are things we can control.
Right. I don't care what bucket you use, Mr. Logan. Just get me one. I want to throw up. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
One bucket has snot that a girl by Jimmy's bed has been puking up into it.
It was hilarious.
Oh, he just had all the corporate lingo and then the analogy he made.
I think we're just not used to people caring about our show and trying to bring us to the next level. We're used to just being our own bosses.
So we just do what we do.
And I think he's trying to maybe not control, but try to push us forward.
Contribute a little bit,
To his credit, I think he just wants to try to push us forward with this radio show. And
help out.
And now that we're feeling a little more comfortable, we're starting to move the show forward. Right?
He made an analogy between the Yankees-Red Sox, which every corporate guy does in a meeting. You always take the topical event and spin it into an analogy that you could use to make your point. And Jimmy was not buying this analogy. I'm sitting here, and that I think is what woke me up too. Is because Jimmy just was fighting this analogy tooth and nail.
Because it was, I forget exactly how he worded it, but it was like he absolutely made my point without meaning to.
Right.
He was talking about, we were talking about, obviously, Sirius and XM and just, how you look at one, and he's like, well, I mean, the Red Sox won this year because they weren't thinking about the Yankees. They were just going out to win, meaning we should worry about us. And I said, no, the Red Sox won because all they thought about was the Yankees, and they built that team to beat the Yankees. That's why they got Schilling. And he's like, well, yeah, but this is different because we're kind of in mid-season. That was the worst recovery.
And then I asked, what happens if there's a rain delay? And it completely screwed everyone up. I started bringing a tarp out onto the studio because I thought it was going to rain. The ump made a lousy call, and all of a sudden we don't have an office.
And we don't even have a porch to run under.
And if we're going to go with this baseball analogy, how about you build our stadium so we can play ball?
Right. How about where's our stadium? We're stuck here in the dugout. Right. We don't even have a field to play on.
We're still in the dugout. Our office is a mess.
There's a security's chasing an Oompa Loompa around the bases. How did he get on the field?
Right. Eric's sitting there with his bloody sock trying to make things okay.
So it was a nice rah-rah speech, and the first email I got right after the meeting was, guys, you will not have a production studio for the rest of the week.
Yeah, thank you.
So there you go. That's going to help us push the show forward.
I thought we were moving forward. All of a sudden, Eric comes in and says, guys, we can't edit anything.
We can't produce anything for the next 4 or 5 days. So.
And he said because the studio is down.
Yeah, the studio's down. There's no office, but, we got to move our game forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there was some good suggestions about maybe for the election, just go on live.
Jesus,
that was a good one. I like that one.
Jimmy just has to say this.
Why?
Yes, there was a suggestion made that perhaps But I'm not sure if this was a literal suggestion. I believe it was just, it showed the ability that this program has to go on for any event. He brought up one.
Yeah, let me just set it up really fast because we run this channel, this 202, this high voltage that we're still trying to change the name of. But
it's all ours, Toots.
Another thing that's not going anywhere. We want the channel to be Opie and Anthony's Virus or something that makes sense. But anyway, we run this channel, yes. So he wants us to start looking at opportunities to just kind of pop on at other times of the day and do things.
For events.
Which we definitely want to do when we feel more comfortable with this radio show.
And they can also, he said, be opened up to the general population of subscribers on XM.
Right.
Instead of just the premium subscribers. Yes. If we did some kind of specialty program, they could open it up and give it out to everybody and turn everyone on to the Opie and Anthony show.
Right.
So one suggestion that was made, I think it was a random thing, maybe off the top of his head, was that we do an election coverage show on Election Eve, Opie.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, we come in here at maybe 7 o'clock at night, stay till midnight, and do a whole rundown of the election.
Can I say, that suggestion made my back hurt. It's... First, is anybody going to be... Look, I know the election is tonight or tomorrow morning. Let's just flip through randomly and see if the block has been taken off any channels and anyone's doing a particular program. No one would hear it. 3 people would hear it, and that's including us.
The election coverage.
Oh.
I believe it would be better if we did it in front of a giant Pop-Tart. Could you imagine? Now, why didn't he bring that up?
We could have a big map with the
election coverage
the red
on the Pop-Tart.
The blue states.
Oh, could you imagine that? Jimmy, let's throw it over to you.
And maybe producer Ben could tell me he's not going onto the election trail so I could pull little pins out of the map as I try.
Let's go to Ben for what precincts have checked in already with the election results. With 98% of the precincts reporting in, we can absolutely report that George W. Bush seems to be the winner.
Oh, nice try, Kerry. That'd be a great show.
Yeah, and we could just stay till midnight and do a whole wrap-up of the election.
It'd be like that Mary Tyler Moore episode when they have to stay for election coverage because the machine breaks.
That was really
there
good.
Talking to a priest, and he's talking to the janitor till 4 in the morning.
You see? There's a bucket of things we can
control.
Mary, dip into the bucket of things we can control. You know, the Red Sox won because they didn't concentrate on the Yankees. It's easy to grin when your bucket comes in. Spalding, we're doing election coverage today.
And you got the election beat.
You'll vote for Kerry and like it. How about a Fresca? Danny, how many precincts are reported in, Danny? You're no gentleman. Hey, I'm no candidate either, all right?
Oh, that just...
made what a meeting. What a meeting. I did notice some blood on my ankle during the meeting. My ankle spontaneously bled. My tendon came out of its sheath.
And speaking of buckets, I hope you slip in one filled with you-know-what.
Jesus. He's our boss. He's attempting to be our first boss. Give him a shot.
I was old Sammy Snooze.
Oh, you really were.
I was dozing in the chair.
What a narcoleptic ass.
We just don't do well with meetings. Never have.
The meeting would not have classified as an extravaganza. It's just awful. But like I said again, it might sound like I'm kissing ass, but nothing against Eric.
I like
it's pretty much, I remember being in meetings with Ken Stevens over there at Infinity. Same thing. I can't stay awake.
Not really.
During meetings.
Eric didn't have... It's not the same meeting because Eric didn't have his bags packed and yelling and screaming that
he was quitting on us.
He's quitting as our boss.
Poor Kenny. Should have quit.
He should have quit,
Should have quit on us. He would have maybe still had a career.
He would have got his severance at least.
Instead of being out on a little sailboat out there in D.C. Whatever he's doing these days, poor guy.
We love him.
Eric, take a close look at where Ken Stevens is right now and just be careful.
All right. Well,
tends to happen.
So we're making the show more gooder.
More gooder by closing down our production studio for a week.
Right.
Why is it closed down, by the way, if I could ask?
Well, they're upgrading.
Okay.
It seems like something you should do on a weekend, but they're, they're upgrading the
Nah, you're better off
facility.
doing that Tuesday through Friday, because you're not going to need
Yes,
it.
you are. You're better off.
By the way,
Tuesday or Friday.
remember when I said that all these cubicles will be gone?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's happening.
When?
We won. We're taking over this whole facility.
We're going to have the entire floor.
Yeah, we
So
won.
all those cubicles go. Room for pinball machines and
won.
foosball tables.
Yes.
And Jägermeister machines.
Yeah, a full bar, a green room, a lounge,
How
a
cool is that
recording
gonna
area.
No place for bands to
Oh,
play.
yeah, man.
FM 202. The Opie and Anthony Show.
You know what keeps us awake, though? All the corporate lingo.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
hilarious.
We've already, goofed on
the phone yesterday. It's like,
bucket
okay,
analogy.
yeah, we got this idea. Let me tee it up for you.
Yeah, teeing it up.
Let me tee it up for you and tell you.
Tee this up for you.
Ugh.
And then
It's
we'll
like you're teeing it up.
and
getting
then
ready
we'll
to slam it.
And the other one is we'll circle back around on that, whatever that means.
I don't know what that means.
We're going to
either.
circle back around, which means nothing gets done. It just keeps going in circles and circles and circles.
Run it through the mill one more time.
We're going to circle around before we decide on that. Well, yesterday we're talking about this possible like demanding Christmas show or something.
Uh-huh.
It's very primitive right now. We got to try to figure something out. And all of a sudden, was it Kevin?
I'm not sure who said it.
One of the guys goes, well, before we blue sky that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We'll run it around a few times before we blue sky it. Blue sky it.
What the
Me and
hell
Opie
does
looked
that
at
mean?
each other, and if I wasn't completely exhausted, I just kind of went.
Anthony and I had a 20-minute conversation on the phone last night trying to figure out what blue sky it means.
Blue sky.
Like, it's a corporate term, and I'm thinking it's some kind of jet analogy. Like, you take off and it's cloudy, and it takes a while to get up above the clouds before you hit the blue sky.
The blue
and then
sky?
And then it's clear sailing.
You sure it wasn't Blue Guy? Maybe a promo for this show?
Yeah, blue. That might be it.
So before we blue sky our O&A Twisted or Demanded Christmas show we're going to attempt to do live on XM Satellite Radio here.
I think
we got to wait for them to blue sky it, whatever that means.
I think it's when you're done with something, when everything's figured out and it's completed. Like if you're in a factory and you're building something, like a car or something, it rolls off the assembly line and then out the door. Now it's under the blue sky. Like when you have an idea and then you run with it, you fix it, you have your meetings about it. Now you're ready to put it out there into the outdoors, the blue sky. You blue sky it.
I like my jet analogy better.
Yeah, but what if your jet takes off on a clear day? It's blue skied right from the start.
Sure is.
You're still not up in the blue sky, though. You still have to,
There's blue sky under the runway.
But you still have to
over the
climb.
runway.
You're climbing up. You're figuring it out. You're figuring out what altitude to fly at.
I think you're looking too deep into it.
And then you even out that plane and you're off and running.
I think you're looking too deep into the blue sky thing.
Oh, crap.
Your pen?
OCD alert.
It just flew over by the monitor.
OCD alert.
Nah, you don't need it. Just forget about it. Don't even think about it.
Oh.
It's over there.
Where
Just
is it?
put it over there.
Oh.
It's under the... There you go. Just
All
don't
is-
tap it.
All is right with the world. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's crazy like that. If he lost that pen, he'd be looking
I
for
got a
it
little
for the
OCD
entire
crap.
show.
It's little stuff. Anyway, yeah. So the blue sky thing. We're going to try to blue sky this Christmas party.
Corporate lingo stinks.
There's got to be a website for corporate lingo. That could
I
be.
looked up some last night. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. It wasn't all that good. Not as good as the ones they make up in Washington.
What's the site? www.boringdouche.com?
The best one though is the whole. I'm going to tee this up for you.
Tee it up.
I'm going to tee up this idea for you.
They like that one.
We're going to tee it up. We're going to try to hit this down the fairway. It might be a big slice, though.
Oh, might hit the trap. Or
Might
God
hit the
forbid
trap.
it ends up in the water.
Didn't use enough club,
Oof.
but he's teeing it up for us.
He's teeing it up. You know something? When you have meetings with anyone involved with the Opie and Anthony show, you can refrain from using the corporate lingo.
Yeah.
You really can. I understand it might fly well with another big corporation you're having a meeting with, or a client perhaps, if you want them to buy the show or something. But when you're dealing with people from this show, all we do is laugh at it and discuss it when we hang up with you on the phone.
Right.
It's not something where we're like, yeah, let's blue sky. We don't take the lingo in and start using it, aside from goofing on it.
Right.
But so you can really refrain from the corporate
Yeah, when you
lingo.
talk to us, use the word dude a lot. Or
That's fine.
Or hey ass.
Hey, right.
Something
ass.
like that.
Yeah,
Let's bring it down a notch.
How about let's discuss the idea, and when we're ready, we'll put it out there.
You got the list?
I have a list of some corporate lingo.
All right, give us a few here.
Drill down.
Drill down.
That's for someone to examine something in detail, feature by feature, regardless of level of management.
Oh, my God, there was another one recently.
Really?
That was told to us.
What was it?
That hasn't... when they're, like, making deals, XM Satellite Radio making deals every single day.
Yeah.
And we hear about some of these deals they may be making.
Yeah.
But they don't want us to talk about it yet because it hasn't...
What?
Fill in the blank. It was one of the classic ones we heard recently. They're working on a deal. They don't want us to talk about it because it hasn't yet.
Oh. Damn, I can't remember. I keep thinking like incubated or something.
Baked.
Baked.
It
still
hasn't been baked.
That made me physically
I
ill.
swear to God, we heard that one from a lawyer lady. They're working on something, but we can't talk about it yet because it hasn't baked yet.
You know what it is? Corporate people are trying so
I know
hard.
what that means?
What?
The deal hasn't been signed.
How about
we've
been working on that offline?
We've heard offline.
Offline, a term meaning at another unspecified meeting, suggesting that an uncomfortable or technically complex topic be taken offline is an excellent way to put off its further discussion indefinitely. Put that offline. Take that offline. Oh, this stuff makes me nauseous.
We got a guy that knows what Blue Sky is.
He does?
I think so. Peter in Jersey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
First, let me tell you guys rock, man. I've been listening to you guys since you guys were on NEW from the early days.
Thank you, my friend.
It's funny because I'm listening to this, and I'm a regional sales manager with a small company out of North Carolina, and I got to deal with these stupid bullshit terms all the time, and everybody always wants to blue sky any idea we ever start. And basically what it is, it's what they want to do is they just want to, it's almost like taking a white piece of paper. They want to blue sky it, like when you paint a picture, you got to start with a blue sky before you put anything else on it. So they want to start from nothing and just like build it from...
Oh, now that's something we didn't see coming.
Nice.
So it's starting from scratch. We're going to blue sky it and just plan from there.
Exactly, and it drives me nuts. We got this bitch regional sales manager from the Midwest who wants to blue sky every idea that comes up. Well, let's blue sky it. I want to fucking strangle half of these.
You know what this is all about? I mean, these corporate people, their jobs are very boring. You know, and they're trying to, throw some excitement into it, you know. But the fact is, it's just boring. It's black or white. That's what their jobs are. It's just black or white.
They don't want to be the bores that they are.
Right, so.
That's it. I was a 34-year-old regional sales manager that was in Mulcahy 10 years ago. And I don't want to deal with this, just tell me what's going on. Tell me the story. Let me answer your question, and let's move on.
All right. Thank you, Peter.
All right, guys, you got it.
All right.
Sync up. We're going to sync up on that issue to have a meeting, especially not necessarily between two people, evidently borrowed from the Palm Pilot lexicon. Sync up. They can't just say, hey, let's have a meeting. Now, let's sync up about blue skying that issue that we spoke about.
And while you're at it, we need a couple new buckets.
Yeah. And by the way, we should also tee up ourselves. Ugh, assholes.
Proactive, own. You know what own means? To take responsibility for something. Someone who owns something can never claim that they are out of the loop. Yeah, I own that. Great. Results-driven scope creep. What is a scope creep?
I don't know. You tell me.
The gradual inflation of the goals of a project as its leaders imagine more things for it to do. So the scope of it is creeping upward. So it's an idea that kind of gets bigger and has more things put on it.
I figured it was a guy with binoculars whacking his bag in some chick's bushes.
There's that scope creep again out my window. It's such a sad existence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I know you work hard. You go up into the office every day with your suit and everything. What's with these words? I'm so glad I'm in radio in this capacity.
Life in corporate America can be a grind.
All they do is they remove the humor from everything.
And you don't want to worry about your behavior around the office becoming a problem.
I'm standing here with this erection feeling silly.
You're gonna need some sound advice.
Talk less and suck more.
From a qualified professional.
I'm a stand-up comic who hates his own guts.
New from the HIV Corporation. It's the Jim Norton Sensitivity Handbook.
Sensitivity training. Maybe you could send someone from Human Resources in, and they can tickle my bag a little. I can go, ooh, very sensitive area, and then they can leave.
Jim will help you construct a business plan.
Greed is good.
He'll guide you through the hiring process.
Hire all fat chicks if you don't want them harassed.
He's also a whiz at customer relations.
Here's what you do, stupid. When they complain, you go, click. You take the phone. Click.
Ladies will also enjoy Jim's wardrobe recommendations.
You send them to training to not have those big tits showing during the workday.
Jim is also an experienced marriage counselor.
How could you marry a chick that won't drink out of your mule?
And he can help mend even the most fractured of family relationships.
I killed my wife with a hammer.
And he'll also assist with time management.
1:30, Human Resources attempts to talk about sensitivity training. 1:35, they are wiping saliva that Jim Norton has spit on them off of themselves as he walks outdoor. End of meeting.
Call 1-800-LOG-DROP for the Jim Norton Sensitivity Handbook. Order today.
Meeting adjourned.
Say, Jim, nice meal.
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
Is this some sexual reference?
All right, let's talk to Uncle Teddy. Mr. Nuge.
Happy hunting season, boys. How are you?
There he is. Hey, where are you right now?
I'm sitting in Crawford, Texas.
Do you have any? You don't have any. Do you have your guns with you?
You think?
Well, remember last time you called the show?
I certainly do. That's why I love you guys so much. You're like my ballistic blood brothers of radio.
Oh, he was blasting off some rounds out of some fine weaponry.
And boy, I got some beautiful hardware in the mail this week. Is my American dream perfect or what, guys? I mean, I get new weapons to test just about every other day. I'm a lucky son of a bitch.
Ted, did you go out when the assault weapons ban expired and just buy up a bunch of fun stuff?
No, I mean, even though the statistics are just hysterical that when Clinton banned certain types of guns, which...
It was all aesthetics.
It's so laughable, it's beyond comprehension.
It was all aesthetics. It had nothing to do with the guns themselves.
It had nothing to do with nothing. By the way, just for everyone's statistical celebration, the most rounds ever fired during the commission of a crime in the history of America was the North Hollywood machine gun bank robbery. Remember that?
Yeah.
6,000 fully automatic. Those are real machines. Those are real assault weapons.
Right.
6,000 rounds fired. Let's all guess right now, shall we, Opie and Anthony? How many people were killed that day?
2.
None. Well, yeah, 2. The bad guys.
2. The bad guys.
But the point is, 6,000 fully automatic machine gun rounds were fired during the North Hollywood bank robbery. Nobody was killed. Meanwhile, the most dangerous shooting in the history of America was the D.C. sniper. 1 bullet per victim. Hey, Clinton, kiss my ass. So bottom line is that more of the banned guns were sold in the following 24 months after Clinton jacked off on everybody's face. More of the weapons that were banned were sold in the following 24 months than in the previous 12 years.
Really?
How beautiful was that? How retarded.
He made a demand for it. He made a demand.
Retarded.
Yeah.
I love that.
Complete demand for it. Great.
So meanwhile, yes, I have many, many weapons. I love weapons. They're tools. They're beautiful functioning tools. And with my guitar, I make such beautiful music. What the hell?
Are we going to shoot some weapons off this morning?
You know, I can. It's still dark here, and Mrs. Nugent actually moved right into Crawford, so I can't shoot out my window today. If I was at my other place down the road, I could just blast beyond your wildest
dreams. Who would think we'd hear the word Ted Nugent and Pussy Whipped all in the same...
Well, you know, there are laws, gentlemen. Nobody revels like Uncle Ted. Life is a barbecue with lots of weaponry, but I can't do it in this neighborhood. But I will think of you later when I touch off massive rounds from machine guns galore.
Well, you're going to have to call back and do that, because we love when you shoot off the weapons
I can do that. I got your hotline number. You're marked men. Plus, on XM radio, you need me.
So I want to be Captain Obvious today. Mr. Nugent, who are you voting for in the upcoming election?
Well, seeing as how I'm not a big fan of pimps, whores, or welfare brats, I can't go with Al Not-So-Sharpton's boy, Johnny. Isn't that pathetic? You know, when you actually, I'm in Crawford, Texas, the home of President Bush, and the Crawford newspaper actually endorses the candidate of pimps, whores, and welfare brats who actually aligns himself with the Planet of the Apes of Ted Kennedy. I sometimes I want to change the channel.
Wow, the
but it's
Planet
still
of the
America.
Apes of Ted Kennedy.
I mean, Ted Kennedy is so retarded, and so is his little puppy, Al Not So Sharpton. You know, if it wasn't for his helmet, Al would have no redeeming merits whatsoever.
I
Are you a
kind
big fan of his helmet? He's got quite a helmet.
You know, the candidate of pimps and whores and stuff, that almost sounds cool.
But
like that, you're almost making him sound cool like that.
Except that that's supposed to be entertainment, not quality of life dictated. You know, I'm in Texas where they think Hee Haw is the educational channel, gentlemen. Okay.
Yes.
But there are a lot of make-believe, fantasy, dope-smoking, Grateful Dead soundtrack, Hee Haw watching, turd in the lip. Hee-haw-bonic numbnut retards out here who still latch their fist to a saddle on an angry bull and then go, I think I hurt my back. These people are so retarded it's beyond hope. So I'm here to teach them how to barbecue because, Opie Anthony, the Texas barbecue is way too damn white, and I got to bring some of that Motown stuff too.
All right, here's the deal. I mean, everyone knows you're a hardcore Republican, okay?
Hardcore.
Let me ask you this. Is there one thing you like about Kerry? Like one thing.
No, his deception and his conclusion that America is too stupid to identify as smoke and mirrors is so repugnant to even a modicum of intellectual review that I am just appalled at the blue map in America. However, when you look at the vast influx of blood-sucking illegals in this country. They really are blood-sucking. They come here to squirt out children so that they can immediately get the kind of welfare that even Americans can't get.
But as a country, we allow that to happen.
How about none?
Huh?
It's just pathetic. It's Planet of the Apes, guys.
But we do allow so many people to just cross the border illegally. I mean, you don't think at this point it seems like we could take care of that problem if we really wanted to.
Hey, I got 6 buddies of mine. We could do it by noon. That's
some
my
towers.
That's my biggest criticism of President Bush is the porous borders. It's absolutely unbelievable during a war on terror that we actually criticize the most powerful law enforcement tool that is directly attributable to the containment of porous borders, and that is profiling. Hell, gentlemen, I profile when I pick a bass player, okay? I profile when I allow my daughter to date someone. Who the hell doesn't profile?
Who the hell's coming over to meet you?
Hardcore Republicans.
No, I mean, if I was into your daughter, there's no way I'm meeting you.
No, my daughter Star is happily married. She's just a wonderful, wonderful girl. My daughter Sasha is in New York City, probably listening to Opie and Anthony right now. But Sasha and Star were raised with discipline and a sense of independent individuality. So they were prepared for the dating game way before puberty, in that they wouldn't let numbnuts and retards into their lives anyhow.
Keep a stun gun in the glove compartment.
So if Bush loses this election, what will you, Ted Nugent, do?
Well, I've always been an activist. I know what we the people means. I know what an experiment self-government is. I'm always active in my community, the schools, the church, the politicians all know who I am. And because I literally travel, I still rock and roll like an idiot every year, and I travel in every city, in every state. I hunt in every state. I do benefits for dead cops and dead soldiers in every state. So I'm an American. All those states and all those states' politicians, they work for me. And they all know who I am, and they all have heard from me, and they all have heard from me on important policies, whether it's gun reform, gun control reform, whether it's education reform, welfare reform, justice reform, because there is no damn justice. It's not a justice system, it's a legal system. So I've always been an activist. So if the numbnuts, if we do become the Planet of the Apes, and Ted Kennedy has more influence over his little puppet Johnny, and Al Not So Sharpton is actually part of a team that determines the quality of life in America, my activism will go up 1,000-fold, and I will be in their face beyond any horror story they've ever imagined.
All right.
Wow.
You go to TedNugent.com and you see some of the brilliant wisdom from activists, from real participants in their communities. I just got off my website. We have a talk back in the chat room, and I get on it multiple times every day because it's kind of like an electronic campfire where we share ideas, and somebody from Des Moines communicates from somebody with Seattle, and we realize that all the concerns for quality of life in the American dream are parallel, no matter what part of the geography you may be in. And I'm moved that activism is increasing, that people are becoming more aware of quality of life issues, that they're more involved with their elected officials, teaching the elected officials that they work for us. So I think the prognosis is good. I don't believe Kerry will win. I believe the pimps and the whores and the welfare brats that are served by the blue map will maybe even have to stop at the next help wanted sign and get a real job.
All right, and what worries me is this whole religious right, though, that's going on.
Well, but I got to tell you, they're inconsequential. I mean, I wrote Wang Dang Sweet Poontang and I meant it, okay? I mean, nobody's more inebriated on rhythm and blues and rock and roll and the primal scream than Uncle Ted. I mean, I did 100 concerts last year, and I scared more white people with my Birdland guitar than Yasser Arafat is doing to carp out in the swamp right now. By the way, I hope he dies slow and painfully.
It looks like he is.
Yeah, good. I mean, maybe I could piss on his wounds.
Ted,
but anyhow,
Ted, I got to ask you something though. Don't you think you're pretty right-leaning, let's say, and me playing the devil's advocate here because
by the way, guys, in order to contest Ted Nugent, you'd have to play the devil's advocate. So go for it.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, because I agree with a lot of the stuff you say, so I would have to be playing the devil's advocate.
Indeed,
I wouldn't want anyone to think that it's my idea.
Or you could play the Al Not So Sharpton's advocate.
Don't you think that the left, the far left, the liberal left, feels the same way with the same passion as you feel about your causes, and they have names like pimps and whores for you guys, and that the real answer is somewhere in the middle?
No, the real answer is not somewhere in the middle. A moderate would have 3 people break into their house and only shoot 2 of them. I'm going to kill all 3 of them. A liberal would want to discuss it with them and maybe make them a hot toddy and see just what caused their lean towards criminality.
And after they get victimized, they would figure out what they did wrong to bring it upon themselves.
Yes, it's much more distinct. There's a gargantuan chasm in the sand. It's not a line in the sand. You know, the people like a Bruce Springsteen and John Bon Jovi and God bless them, and anybody who has the E Street Band and the talent that John and Bruce surround themselves with. These guys got soul. They're very dedicated. Their work ethic is something to celebrate. But they've become insulated. They've surrounded themselves with what I call the Elvis condition, and they've got yes people, and they intentionally screen discomforting information. The difference between me and Bon Jovi, and again, I think he's a great man, I just think he's lost, is that when they see a beggar, an able-bodied, lazy, stinky beggar, they would say to their people, give him $100, see if we can't clean him up. I wouldn't. I'd lean down next to him. Meanwhile, the beggar would use the $100 to buy more poison, more drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and garbage food so that the beggar could die quicker. But John could go back to his hot tub, and he could feel good. He would feel good because he gave him $100. Meanwhile, I'd lean down, spit in the cocksucker's cup, and tell him to get a fucking job.
I love this guy.
Wow, yeah.
You know, there's not a fine line. There's a gigantic chasm of decency and goodwill on the right, and when they get overzealous with their religious extremism, slap the shit out of them. That's what I do. I mean, I get on stage and I still go berserk and have the time of my life. Flames come out of my ass, and the religious right recoils in horror. Meanwhile, I go, hey, see if I have one of these that'll fit you. Well, I have one that'll fit you perfectly. Here's a fuck you for you, you fuck.
He likes the satellite radio.
Yep.
Yeah, I like satellite radio.
All right, I think you said it all there.
I gotta agree with a lot of what Ted says.
Oh man, hold on. I gotta call Anthony out.
What?
You have said that you're thinking about voting for Curry.
I was at first when we were being
You don't want to
persecuted.
You don't want to come across
for
sounding
our-
like a pussy in front of Ted Nugent.
No.
Michael Powell, if you can't rein in, Michael Powell's having a little bit of a, he started his period, so he can't be held responsible for his spiritual bloating. We can control this numbnut so easily. All we have to do is stand our ground. And again, I am...
Yeah, but the problem is no one stands their ground as far as the FCC goes and as far as all these special interest groups go. One stupid special interest group writes a letter. Next thing you know, Ted Nugent isn't performing that song or performing in that town. I mean, that's the problem, man.
I can show you hundreds of examples of that in my rock and roll career, because my rock and roll concerts, when you surround yourself with the virtuosos that I do, you have a career that defies gravity. And I got to salute Tommy Clufettos, the world's greatest drummer, and Barry Sparks and Marco Mendoza. My rhythm section is the Funk Brothers, man. I'm a lucky guitar playing son of a bitch, but the bottom line is, when I have run into obstacle courses from the left or the right, I merely plow forward. That's why I reference my website. Go to tednugent.com, go to Talkback in the chat room, and witness how we run into numbnut policies and numbnut regulations every day of our lives, and all it takes is a little bit of grooming. All we have to do is be reasonably groomed, confront the numbnuts who are forcing these counterproductive policies on us. And let's take an extreme example. The assault weapons ban, the so-called assault weapons ban, the banning of deer hunting in certain state and national parks where the deer population goes completely out of control, but all the little lefty feel-good Bambi retards are demanding these policies. The Ted Nugent United Sportsmen of America steps in, and we articulate the science and our responsibility for real hands-on conservation and resource stewardship, and we take policies that have been written in stone for dozens and dozens, if not, 50 years, where no hunting was allowed, and the deer are slammed by trucks at a thousandfold the regional average. And we change that policy overnight merely by getting involved. I believe that the same FCC clusterfuck that is strangleholding typical radio across this country, and again, there's got to be a modicum of decency, and you can't just let her rip like we are on XM radio right now on a station that kids can turn on the way to school. However, that being said, there is some common sense, decent ground, and this is where the middle ground must be articulated from the extremist side. And I consider Opie and Anthony and Uncle Ted and Howard Stern and all these other guys to be extremists in entertainment and in just articulating a street slang. But there's got to be some sense of decency that a community determines. And I have articulated this in front of panels, in front of church panels, school panels, and if Ted fucking Nugent can do it, who can't?
Well, there you go.
Well, there you have it.
There you
try
have
the
it.
U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, and the Golden Rule, wad them up in a ball, grease them down, and shove them up their ass.
Wow. So I got to ask you, what should we do with Iraq?
Well, we're doing it. Listen, I was over there. I went to Baghdad.
Well, the liberals will say it's turning into the next Vietnam.
Well, it isn't. I'm not an expert on Vietnam. I avoided that one. I was a guitar boy back then.
Yeah, how did you get out of Vietnam?
Well, I had a one-wide deferment. I was a student at Oakland Community College, but I went to that one-wide deferment to keep from going. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand the horrors of communism. I was basically a greasy-eyed kid right out of high school, and I didn't have the faintest idea about how freedom was paved, how freedom was paid for. And I didn't realize the importance of soldiers stopping evil there so that we don't have to face it here. And I salute every veteran of every war. My dad was in World War II in Korea, and I just went over with the USO. In fact, if everybody would visit USO.org. What a great organization! You know, the great history of all these entertainers going over what Toby Keith and David Letterman are doing today. And I was proud to be a part of that USO tour. And I was in Baghdad. I was in Kosovo. I was in Fallujah. The road we took to entertain the Marines in Fallujah was blown up the day after we left there.
Was Ted packing heat?
I was packing massive heat. I had an M4 and a bag of ammo. An M4 is a small version of the M16. We were wearing body armor and Kevlar helmets, and we were right in the middle of the hellstorm. I was manning a .50 caliber on a Black Hawk and a Chinook, and I shared C-130s with flag-draped coffins. So I understand how freedom is is procured. I understand how freedom is secured from the hands of evil and monsters like Saddam Hussein. In fact, I went to the palace in Baghdad, the Punta and Kunte Palace, before we blew their shit to hell, and I took a good dump in their bidet. But anyhow, that's a different story.
Imagine some insurgent going to mine the street or something, or launch an RPG, and he looks up and goes, "Oh my God, I've just been shot by Ted Nugent."
How beautiful would that be? But I've seen the men and women of the United States Army, the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, the Coast Guard, and that's what we celebrate every day. Shemaine, my wife, and I today, we're organizing a great big Thanksgiving venison barbecue for Fort Hood, and I visit the troops and their families all across the country. And our charity, we have a Ted Nugent Camp for Kids charity that is now working all across the country to get supplies, food, clothing, medicine, blankets, water, and Thanksgiving dinners for the troops' families who have lost a father and a husband. And it's just it's the least at all. In fact,
but I mean, how are we going to wrap this up in Iraq?
Well,
we don't want this to go on for years.
Opie, Anthony, somebody write this shit down, would you?
All right, I got a pen.
I'm
paper.
just a guitar player, but here's what we're doing in Iraq. We're baiting them. We're baiting all the Allah pukes. We're baiting all the voodoo retards to come get the soldiers over there. You don't actually have to.
Is this going to be part of the pop quiz?
I think we're recording this. You know, the Allah pukes and the voodoo retards are being baited into the line of fire by the United States soldiers, and we're blowing the living shit out of them. By the way, what's Plan D?
Do you have cliff notes that we could get? Because I can't write this fast, and I know there's going to be a pop quiz.
No, but I've got a couple of Allah pukes that I've actually written in a wood burner on their forehead, all the facts, just before I piss on their wounds.
Piss wounds.
Jot that down.
Okay, all right. Is this going to be a multiple choice pop quiz?
No, there's only one choice. Plan A, crush evil, drive safely.
Oh, very good. All right, with that's
and
great.
That's what our guys are doing. You know, we're setting sniper records every day where our soldiers, our snipers, are just blowing the shit out of these goofballs at 2 miles. How beautiful is that?
You know what? I mean, look, I'm pretty pro-Bush, and I was pretty for the invasion. But the more I learn about the Iraqi people, al-Sadr and the rest of them that only rose up once Saddam was gone, the more I kind of regret going in there and feel we should have just left them in there and let them continue gassing them, because they're awful. They have no gratitude. They hate us. They're all for the insurgents. They cheer when Americans are killed.
No, somebody's been listening to Dan Rather too much.
No, dude, I went over there. I performed for the troops myself. I was over there.
Good for you, man. God bless you.
And I'm for the military, but I'm really starting to hate the Iraqi people.
That's
well, there's a lot of retards over there. Remember, they've never had.
Those are the voodoo retards, bro.
They're voodoo retards.
Those are the voodoo retards. There's also a whole normal thing going on where they're getting their haircuts again, and they're listening to music, and they're dancing in the streets. And
here's what the citizens of Kosovo and Kandahar and Fallujah and Baghdad told the old guitar player. They told me in many different ways that because of the United States stepping in, this is the first time they are not scared to death every day that their daughters are going to be raped and played with before they're tortured and murdered by the Saddam henchmen.
Well, now
this is the first time in their life that they've actually felt they might try to be the best that they can be, and they can get their return based on effort. Remember, the American dream is simply being the best that you can be. There's no French dream. There's no German dream. There's no Mexican dream except to get the hell out of Mexico and go to America where you don't have to worry about the federales raping you in the ass every day. This American dream is now being shared with the people of Baghdad, and it's absolutely wonderful.
All right, you got a few people pissed off. We got to give them a little chance.
A little equal time.
Let's go to Jeff in Buffalo. Jeff, what do you have for Ted Nugent?
No, I think this Ted Nugent, man. I don't get it.
Ted Nugent? Who's it? Ted Nugent?
Ted Nugent. Excuse me.
Okay. Who's this?
This is Jeff from Buffalo.
Hello, Jeff. How's your Buffalo, man?
All right. Yeah. I don't agree. You know, these people, I think they're fucked up. You know, they don't appreciate what's being done.
A lot of them don't. You're right.
And, you know, I just hate seeing the news reports that, 3 soldiers are dead today, 4 soldiers are dead, tomorrow. And I'm a vet, and I don't know, man. I think it's all bullshit.
Well, it's not all bullshit, Jeff. There's a lot of bullshit, but remember, we've always been inundated by the ABCs, CBSs, and whatever the other one is, the Dan Blathers and the Tom Brokaw puppets and the Canadian guy. We have been just bombarded with intentionally misrepresented information. Jeff, you're right. It is a clusterfuck. There are a bunch of morons over there. They're voodoo pukes. They're a la retards.
Oh, boy.
But,
voodoo puke.
Jeff,
write that down.
There's a whole bunch of positives. I mean, I was there when a little girl was being saved only because there was a U.S. helicopter that could get her to a U.S. doctor in a U.S. hospital. I mean, there are anecdotal activities.
And Ted was
every
flying
minute.
that helicopter, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
I was not there. I was not in the helicopter, but I saw it land. This happens every minute of every day.
He needs to be a
Dan
cartoon
Rather
character.
will not share it with you.
Ted.
All right, let's say hi to Reese in Maryland, who's very pissed off.
Hello, Reese.
Hey, nice to talk to you guys. Oh, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Ted Nugent, you are the worst hypocritical chicken hawk pussy I have ever heard in my life.
Go, Reese.
You spent your fucking time. You spent your fucking time in Vietnam hiding away at a little community college when you had the fucking chance to go do something. You had the chance to back up your big fucking words, you little pussy. What'd you do? Oh, I'm in a community college.
Reese, will you ever forgive me, Reese? I was 17 years old. Fuck you.
Some of these boys dying in Iraq, you stupid fucking prick.
That's why I went over there to help them out as much as I could, Reese.
Oh, yeah, big help. Yeah, big boy standing around with your M4. Give me a fucking break, you chicken hawk pussy. You're worse than fucking George Bush.
Well, suck my dick, Reese, would you?
Yeah, why don't you come
right.
to Maryland?
You don't hear this on Crossfire.
Why don't you come to Maryland and I'll break your fucking hip, you old fuck.
Jesus.
Oh, Reese, how heartless are you, Reese? Reese, go eat some more
heartless,
tofu,
buddy.
would you fucking fag?
I just don't.
All right, there goes Reese.
Wow.
Reese is angry. I've already did my mea culpa, huh? Suck my dick.
Reese is
All right, one
pretty
more.
pissed.
Let's say hi to Mark in Oklahoma. Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Ted. Oh, my God. I can't believe I'm talking to Ted Nugent. This is too fucking cool.
Hey, Mark, there's a whole bunch of Oklahoma Warriors over there. I think there were soldiers from every city in Oklahoma when Toby Keith and I went over there because Toby's an Oklahoma boy himself.
Yeah, I live
they were good shots.
I live in the same town he's from. But, yeah, I just wanted to tell you, I had a good one the other day. Some asshole neighbor of mine was taken up. I had about 6 or 7 Bush Cheney signs out on my lawn, and I caught him taking the signs out, and he was trying to peel a Bush sticker off my pickup, so I called the cops, and I had his ass arrested.
Good work, Mark. Well, that's typical behavior of people who represent Al Not So Sharp and basically thieves and rapists.
His wife is scared shitless of me because the last week I went to the gun shop and bought me a couple of AKs because I figured, what the hell, I'm going to try one of those for a while. I got tired of my SKS.
Now, wait a minute, Mark. You didn't actually get a Kalashnikov. What you got was a replica. They don't sell Kalashnikovs over here.
Yeah, it's not the real deal. It fires 7.62s, but, you know, I got 2 of them, and I just love it, man. I wish you had your own talk show down here in Oklahoma, and I was Force Recon in the Marine Corps, and I would love to come on your show, that Surviving Nugent, just for the hell of it.
Oh, yeah. Is that show coming back, Ted?
Boy, was that hysterical. #1 both times on the Paroled Hip Hop Network. How cool am I?
I loved the Ted Nugent show.
You know, from a lot of people don't realize this, and I think it's appropriate to announce it on Opie and Anthony. I proudly accepted the Black Redneck of the Year award after Surviving Nugent made #1 for the second time on VH1. That's Black Redneck of the Year. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank my mother.
Wow. What an honor.
Actually, I was going to get to use Al Not So Sharpton's helmet for a week. That was my prize, but I already had an outhouse.
Very cool. Let's say hi to Dave. Hey, Dave. The phones have exploded.
Well, of course they have. They love Uncle Ted. Even guys like Reese. He's having his hysterectomy today, and he thought he'd blame me.
Well, good morning, Mr. Nugent. I wish there was more people like you out there. I get tired of hearing the left always pushing their views, the Hollywood elite pushing their views on everyone else. I mean, my wife is a nurse in the service right now, and I just don't understand why they're pushing their views, telling us what they think's going on, when a lot of that stuff is not currently going on, and we are doing a lot of good. I mean, I wish you were more. I mean, you're very outspoken. I wish that, there's more limelight to you. I mean, because you're refreshing. I mean, it's great to hear you.
Opie Anthony, is this Dave?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Dave. Well, the truth is a beautiful thing. I try to offer the truth like a gentleman, but if necessary, I will bend you over. The bottom line is to be a conservative historically is meant to be very prim and very proper, and we don't want to be confrontational as we adjust our bow ties. Well, that kind of spineless soullessness is finally going the way of the dodo bird, because conservatives have realized that Mr. Rogers and Barney are not good representation for our side, that the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights are worth wadding up on occasion and putting on the end of a ramrod and shoving it up a bunch of assholes' fucking butts. So bottom line is the conservatives have got to get a little bit tougher. All I can say is remember the fucking Alamo.
All right.
I kind of agree up until you put the Ten Commandments in your wad
I
like
think
that.
that's important. I think you got to stand up for what's right. You know, when evil shows up, you shoot him. What's Plan B?
Yeah, I don't like getting the religion mixed up with our politics, though.
Except religion is a misnomer. What are the Ten Commandments other than guidelines for decent behavior so people can get along? So when the Jew goes to the synagogue and the Muslim goes to his mosque and the Catholic goes to his church, we can wave at each other instead of launching rockets each way. You know, you've got to be retarded. You've got to be absolutely. You got to almost be like Ozzy to not get that.
Now we're gonna have a problem.
Well, Ozzy's retarded. He's a good man, but he's retarded.
Jim Norton loves Ozzy Osbourne.
But I love Ozzy Osbourne, but he's retarded.
Can't argue with him.
There you go.
God damn it, I can't argue.
Isn't that horrible?
All right. Ozzy got high and Ozzy's brain dead. I went hunting. I'm still Ted. Eat me.
Let's say hi to Mike in Philly. Mike, what's up? What do you have for Ted Nugent?
Hello, Mike.
What's up, guys? Gregory, Tony, James, how you doing?
Pretty
Fine,
good.
thanks. And yourself?
Hey, Ted Nugent, I got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah,
You're
baby.
so self-righteous, and, you preach all this stuff about America and all that. Weren't you the one, the rock star, like, that used to touch 14-year-olds?
What's this now?
Oh, there was a story that came out. When the hell was that?
Saying, like, 14-year-old girls. And
Wait, who
all
was
that
that girl?
stuff in the 70s?
Mike, who was that?
I have no idea.
I want a
What
specific.
did I used to do now?
There was some girl that claimed, I believe, is she a celebrity or something?
I think she is.
That claimed that she gave you oral sex when she was 12 backstage at some.
that was just after I butt-fucked a gopher.
Your cop-out was, ooh, I like pussy, you fucking self-control.
That's a cop-out. That's quite a cop-out. First of all, that was a dirty lie. Do I like pussy? You think? And when I was 15, how old do you think my girlfriends were? Hey, Mike, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Hey, Mike, let's not be too harsh. Ted, what was she wearing?
She was wearing Mike's condom.
I think we have time for one more, unfortunately. It's Scott in Tennessee. Scott.
Hello, Scott, happy barbecue season.
Hey, Uncle Ted, what's up?
I'm rocking.
Hey, man, I just think, I believe in what you're saying. I came from a conservative background in Ohio, but it's like even my grandfather, before he died, he said, this isn't the Republican Party that I used to vote for,
That's
man.
right. We're becoming a bunch of crybabies.
I mean, that's what we need, somebody like you who's got, who can get on the media to come out and say that this is bullshit, man, that you people in the religious right need to just stick a sock in it for a while, man.
Well, there's a lot of that going on. You're seeing a lot more. There's only one type of effective politics in America today. Everybody knows this who's not asleep, and it's called confrontational politics. That doesn't necessarily mean saying "fuck you, Mike." It obviously means standing up for what you believe in. I'm using street slang on the Opie and Anthony show on XM Radio because I can. This is how I talk to some of my shit kicker buddies down at the welding shop and down at the feed mill. And this is the bottom line: is that when I was over in Kosovo, when I was in Baghdad, when I'm in Fallujah, I talked to Marines who were putting their lives on the line. And you know what they say to olive pukes just before they blow them up? Fuck you. And that's a workable thing. And when hippies and queers and idiots used to hand me dope and make fun of me because I wouldn't smoke their dope and turn into a zombie, I'd go, oh, really? How does fuck you sound? I use street slang in an effective manner, but when I speak to children as a DARE officer, and when I testify before a Senate subcommittee hearing, I speak appropriately. When I talk to my grandmother, I speak appropriately. But when I'm in the heat of battle, I speak appropriately as well. I'm not a little child, and I don't have to talk like Mr. Rogers to get my point across. There's some real self-evident truths out there. And when I speak to my camp for kids, and when I teach children how to be conservationists and turn down drugs and get rid of tobacco and alcohol, that drinking and driving and puking and dying is not a party. You can't talk like some kind of conservative Barney saying, well, just say no to drugs, kids. Fuck you. You're asking those kids to get in trouble if you talk to them like they're retarded.
All right.
So that's how I operate.
We wanted to leave, but this guy is really pissed off. Chris, what's up? Real fast.
Real fast, Chris.
Oh, hold on.
Not fast enough.
No, hold on. I screwed up. Chris, what's up?
Hey, AMA, good to have you back. I can't believe I'm sitting here driving to work. I can't believe I'm listening to these crazy rednecks talk like this. It's none of our business.
Believe it.
We shouldn't have been there in the first place. We have no business being there. And why do they have to be put under our regime? What if some other country doesn't like what we're doing? Should they come here and come after us just because they feel like it?
All right, Chris, get back to the traffic. You're going to hit somebody. Opie, Anthony, can I respond to Chris?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Hey, Chris, you know, there's a global community out there. Most of the people in the global community are retarded. They still chop off little girls' clitorises over in Nigeria as some government-sanctioned religious rite of passage. They're retarded. When your neighbor is getting slaughtered by a bunch of retards, at some point a decent neighbor will stand up and help that neighbor. We didn't do so in Rwanda because the UN wouldn't let us save those 3 million dead Rwandans. We didn't do it in Somalia. We didn't do it in the Sudan because the UN was jacking off. So meanwhile, somebody at some point, his name is George W. Bush, and men and women of the U.S. military saw innocents being slaughtered, and we finally said, this is enough. We're going to go stop the monsters. Fuck you.
Ted?
Yeah.
You got to admit, though, that kind of wasn't the battle cry that was given when we went there.
Well, sure it was. We're going to go get Saddam. We're going to bait the voodoo pukes over there. Listen, guys, there's no. I want to hear Plan B. What are we going to do? Be more sensitive? What are we going to go to the UN so we can wait while more be slaughtered? Meanwhile, it's not just innocents being slaughtered over there, guys. That's where they train terrorists that come and blow up Americans. There's no Plan B.
Yeah, but it's kind of been proven also that there really weren't many terrorist training camps there when Saddam was in charge. He ruled with an iron fist.
Neighborhood. We are right in the epicenter of where Muslim retards are being trained. We're over there doing it. We don't have to be in their building. We don't have to be in their neighborhood. We are in their region.
Yeah.
And the American good guys are baiting the retards so we can blow them up there so we don't have to face them here.
I know that line, Ted.
I have not heard a reasonable Plan B.
Saudi Arabia.
Plan
How about going after Saudi Arabia?
We're right there, aren't we? That is Saudi. We are over there. That's where we are.
But most of the terrorists came from Saudi Arabia that flew those planes into...
We're as close to in their face as an experienced military strategist could be.
We got too much business interest with Saudi Arabia, so we're not really messing with them too much.
Well, but once again, where are our troops? We are in their face. There's no Plan B, guys.
Well, the Plan B is kind of, inviting in the rest of the international community.
The international community are retards. Fuck them.
You got to admit though, the Saudis, we do, and this is not Republican, this is Democrat Republican. We do have kind of business interests with the Saudis that does prevent us from doing what we have to do, which is sever all ties with these fucking animals.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, bottom line is there's a bunch of other. We can't really do this in a quick interview, guys. But are Americans gluttons or are we gluttons? We couldn't suck down more raw crude if we wrapped our lips around some Saudi prince's ass and just breathed in for a lifetime.
We do love our crude.
But that's why we have Alaska. Let's just go Alaska. There's nothing wrong up there.
I got a shovel. Let's go.
Yeah, he's first in line. No doubt about that. Hey, before we let you go, so we got the story in front of us. Perhaps the voters of Michigan will need to be reminded that Ted Nugent received a hand job from a 14-year-old Courtney Love many years ago.
Oh, it was Courtney Love that claimed that?
Not even close.
No,
but it says a hand job he's openly admitted to having occurred.
Not even close. I've never met that scab in my life.
Damn, you mean like...
If you and I did that much drugs, we'd talk like that, too. She's retarded.
She really doesn't make that credible of a witness.
You think?
You mean everything Are you trying to tell me everything I read in the papers isn't true,
Yo,
Mr. Nugent?
Yeah, and El Naso Sharp's hair is real.
Hey, Ted, you're always, I don't know, you always give us great radio.
Always
whether we
get
agree or
the
disagree,
audience
but-
a little riled up, Ted.
Well, you know, there's a lot of sleepy little fucks out there like Reese and Maryland. This guy lost his dick in a terrible fence.
I hope XM Satellite Radio gets smart and hires you, man, because I would love to listen to you every day.
Well, I've been offered all kinds of gigs, but I got hunting season, I got kids camp, man, I got Spirit of the Wild TV and the Outdoor Channel, #1 show on the Outdoor Channel.
Well, then maybe we'll just put you on our show every once in a while.
I'll tell you what, I got your hotline. I'll call you in and my crowbar to your party.
This is what you have to do. You have to call us back sooner than later with your weapons.
I can do that. Well,
like last time, all right?
You know, literally, guys, I got a beautiful Texas whitetail hanging in my cooler, and I got blood. I got to go clean the blood off all my knives. I'm getting venison for a big barbecue for the soldiers at Fort Hood, and I'm going to kill all kinds of deer this week. And so, as the sun comes up and I'm handling carcasses, I will be thinking of you, and I'll try to give you a call back because I want to rile some activity, some activism, some involvement, so that people all around the country help the troops and their families because they really need it now.
All right. Thank you, Ted. Thanks,
All right, guys. Opie
Bye,
Anthony,
Ted.
happy Thanksgiving, man.
Oh, you too, buddy.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
You're listening to the worst of Opie and Anthony. It's our best stuff, but we like to call it the worst stuff. Get it? Well, Anthony, this is a twisted story. Pledge tells a vicious beating.
Vicious beating. A pledge.
Fraternity hazing. It's been in the news off and on the past, 10 years or so.
What happens to you if you just want to go to college and not be in a fraternity? Is there a downside to that? Because I don't see an upside of being in a fraternity at all.
It depends where you go. I went to Geneseo. Back in the day, it was all about being in a fraternity or sorority.
Back in the stay?
You kind of felt like you didn't really
The
belong
stay.
if you weren't part of a group back then.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had all the fraternities walking around campus, the sororities. It was and then the fraternities
Would
would
it
get,
really bother anybody if they had to walk around not being part of a fraternity?
No, there was plenty of people that didn't.
Like, I don't get
But
the
the parties were unbelievable. You hook up with a sorority and instant party with girls that like to drink and get laid.
If you weren't in a fraternity, you weren't allowed to go to the sorority party?
You would let outsiders in a little bit here and there.
All right.
Yeah.
So I am not getting it.
But you would feel kind of out of place.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It was an instant party. I mean, if you're in a dorm and you want to get one of these, crazy parties going, you got to know a lot of people. You have to, if you're in a fraternity, there's a lot of guys you hate, even though you're in the same fraternity. But it's instant party. You got 100 guys, and then you got a sorority with 100 girls right there. Boom.
So it's pretty much just for the parties.
I would say so. If people say it's for more, I would laugh at you.
I just don't understand the whole fraternity sorority.
I got some good friends out of the fraternity I joined, but
You have a secret handshake?
No, nothing stupid
Were
like
you in
that.
Lambda?
The black fraternity.
The Tri-Lambs.
The Tri-Lambs, yes. It was all about partying. I made some good friends out of it. I hated it. I hated being in a fraternity. I try to be an individual. I try not to follow the trends of what's going on, but I don't know. I thought it was a good idea at the time, and then I tried to leave halfway through pledging, and I got a little visit from some brothers, and basically they said in a very nice way, just stick it out. And I'm
what
like,
if you
why?
just said, I don't want to?
They're like, trust me, just stick it out. It's not good if you quit in the middle.
And what happens
So
if you just said no?
They pretty much made it clear that my life would be miserable. So I got through it, and then I saw the other guys that did drop out, and they would get the shit beat out of them, basically.
So that if you drop out, you were beaten?
And guys would get, guys would transfer and stuff. Yeah, they were scared.
I heard they would put like a blanket on you and beat you with their soap and then say, remember, it's just a bad dream, fat boy.
And you'd lay there going, ow, ow, ow.
While the other guy would cover his ears and that chilling music playing.
Then you'd pass out because your candidate lost the election.
Wow, this guy...
Why is Private Pyle saying African American?
We haven't even gotten into this, and the phones are just lit. Jake from Plattsburgh, what's up?
Hey, what's up, One?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm still up here in Plattsburgh right now. I live about 10 feet from the college, and when I used to go there, they killed my friend, one of the frats.
Well, by accident, obviously, right?
Well, yeah, you can call it an accident, but all this hazing shit is bullshit. They were making him do the water treatment. They just kept having him drink gallons and gallons of water.
Oh, yeah, water poisoning.
I read that story.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He was one of my best friends. There was like 6 of us, and we were all going to pledge this frat. He was pledging in the first semester, and ever since then, like, I don't go to the college anymore. I now go to a different one. But
what's the water thing? They make you... I don't understand. Well, you just
drink water.
You could drink... I didn't even know this. I remember this story. You could drink so much water that you could die.
You die. Too much water gets in your system. It starts leaking out of your blood vessels into your brain.
What, are there any signs that it's happening? You just keep doing it?
You have to drink a ridiculous amount of water.
Mike, should I
Relax.
finish this or no?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry.
I don't even know. Maybe a doctor could tell us or whatever, but no, it's got to be a ridiculous amount.
Over a very short period of time, also.
Yeah, you just got to keep forcing it in.
Yeah.
So.
Really nasty. Wow.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, it was in a lot of papers.
Right. Okay.
But
Fat, drunk, and
my
killing
vehicle
pledges
is
is no way to go
traveling
through
phone
life.
sticker.
I stepped on everything. Damn it. I tried to get in there. I'm doing an Animal House thing, and he's fucking talking. Glad your friend's dead.
Holy yes.
Ruined my line.
You had enough good ones.
Very important
You
to
had
me.
enough good ones today. You
This
could have
show is very important to me.
You had enough good lines today. You could have freaking let this guy slide. Jesus. You didn't get enough sleep last night. Oh, my God.
Maybe the line wasn't that important. Okay, Jake.
Who's the mean one on this show?
That's okay, guys. I was just saying, my car's a traveling advertisement for you guys.
Not anymore. All right.
No, I love you guys.
All right, cool. Thank you, Jake.
See you guys.
And it was a good line, Anthony.
Wow. I thought he was off the phone by that point. I didn't realize
Yeah, well, he's still there.
PJ from the Bronx.
How you doing, guys? First of all, that last kid, it's that his friend died. If you're going to be in a fraternity, you deserve to die. Disgusting.
I just don't get it.
Did you have your little sweatshirt with the little Greek letters on it? Did you?
Oh, yeah, I did. I didn't wear mine often, though.
Often, which you wore it a few times.
Yeah.
What did it say on the back of your sweatshirt? Halfway down the back, did it have an arrow pointing to your ass and say, enter here?
Yeah, there is some gayness going on.
Oh, my God.
With
You
those
know, I admit that. It was a little weird.
You do? Would you like to admit it while reading Rent Boys?
Hell no, man.
I was in Genesee, my blonde hair blowing in the wind.
Hell no.
Not unlike Ben's when he's in an airlocked room.
I think a lot of the fraternities, you know, they had their brothers paddling pledges while they were in their underwear, just like the scene in Animal House. I'm like, what is this about? I just want to drink a few beers from a keg and bang some broads. Why am I bending over and getting paddled by you?
This goes with what I was saying earlier. A guy that, if you go to school and you don't want to be in a fraternity, that's fine. It seems that the fraternities would draw in guys that want to be with other guys in these living situations where perhaps things can happen and there's excuses for nudity and paddling.
Listen,
it seems like a very...
I have to step in. No way. I mean, the pledging, yes. You're right. The pledging was weird, man. I mean, we were naked. We were naked.
That's all I'm saying.
Then you become a brother, and then it's all about just banging chicks and getting, you know, hammered, and it's one big party. Like, all of a sudden, all that goes away as far as the fraternity I joined.
It's always
But it
there,
was
though.
weird, man.
But it was there in the first place. It had to come from somewhere.
That's right.
That ain't going away.
Glad your friend's dead.
I know. How do we even continue this
Stepped
break
on my
after
Animal
that?
House line. It's one of my favorite movies. Bastard.
Dude, we had to do some weird shit.
You pledged. Now, what did you have to do?
Well, we got paddled.
Paddled. See, right there. A man paddling another man's ass.
Got paddled.
What is the... Was it on your bare behinds? Come on, you remember.
No,
be honest.
I'm like it's cool because I had my underwear on.
Let me tell you something. There's underwear on paddling, which isn't very much cooler than underwear off, but off is really, really bad.
Both are really bad. I think it was just underwear on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to say something?
I'll tell you one story, you guys.
I
I shouldn't say you'll laugh, but because then I'm expecting you to laugh.
Right,
But
right.
I have enough confidence in what I'm about to tell you.
All right.
There was something during Hell Night. Well,
Uh-oh.
It was kind of like an obstacle course around the house.
Oh, a little obstacle course.
And this is the opening act. Don't laugh at this one unless you think it's funny. We were blindfolded with tampons because that's the cool thing to do.
How do you blindfold with tampons?
One on each eye, maybe?
I don't know. Big freaking pads.
Oh, a pad, a Kotex
Whatever.
pad.
I know.
Oh, the tampons are the ones that slide in with the string.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the
pads,
things that
whatever.
catch the blood before it actually
They make
stains
good.
the
They
clothing.
make good blindfolds, though.
I guess, yeah, thick. Yeah, sure.
And then one
Blood in 'em.
stop was the bathroom, and the brothers yelling and screaming that there was a big fat Eggo pig that took a dump in the toilet.
Yeah.
And everyone was outraged that this big fat Eggo pig from the sorority,
Eggo,
one of the sororities, took a dump in the fraternity bathroom, and we had to get rid of that. We had to get rid of that shit.
What?
As in, take your hands and get a good one.
Wait. You had to pull human feces out of a toilet bowl.
Because they were pissed that the big fat Eggo pig took a crap in our toilet.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm thinking here, I don't think it was one of those girls that took a dump in that toilet. I think it was your fraternity brother's crap.
We were told later that it was bananas.
What was the test? The water was cold?
Look at Jim. Ooh, wow. Where do I join?
Oh, you were told later it was bananas?
Yeah.
Well, did your hands smell like bananas or shit?
I don't remember.
Kind of an easy, not to be Columbo to...
I don't remember.
I was smelling bananas, but my hands were covered in shit.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
And then one of the grand finales was that we had a...
Look how he's looking off into the distance in the air because he doesn't want to make eye contact and chuckling, thinking back at this stuff.
Because this was pretty gay. We had a play.
Yeah.
Was there a porch involved?
By the way, if I tell the story,
yeah,
I get to slide from reading out of that book the first time I mess up, or I don't tell the story.
I thought you were reading out of the book.
I know. I'm making a deal right now with you.
First time you mess up?
Yeah.
Okay. You
All
get
right.
to slide.
Yeah, because this is brutal.
All right.
You could tell by how.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, sir.
So we're in our underwear doing the obstacle course around the house with the grand finale that waited for us in the basement, which was I can't give that away because I'll get killed. So they say.
Oh wait, is it a secret fraternity? You're not allowed to speak at thing?
Well, it's the grand finale, yeah. We had to play Bomb the DK House, our rival fraternity.
Bomb the DK House.
Which we hated, of course. Rumor has it that this fine fraternity did some crazy things themselves.
Well, DK was dick kissers, so they sound like a wild bunch.
Well, one of the rumors, I don't know for sure, was that the pledges had to put, and this isn't my fraternity, put wax lips on and give oral treats to the brothers. That's the rumor that was going around when I went to college.
How do you give oral with the wax lips
I have
on?
no idea.
Yeah, it's got to be a rumor.
Aren't
That
they
couldn't be
connected?
true.
Well, some kind of.
Maybe you
whatever.
just rub the lips against the side of the. Maybe you grab a hold of that thing. You just grab it like it's nobody's business, and you rub the wax lips.
So
on the side, yeah.
Bomb the DK House. I guess they had a little house set up. I don't know because we were blindfolded, a doll house, and we had to pick up the bombs, not using our hands.
Oh no. Oh my goodness! What were the bombs made out of?
The bombs, I believe, were marshmallows.
With your ass cheeks?
Holy shit! I can't even look at you. I cannot even turn my head and look at you.
Yeah.
Are marshmallows allowed in the barracks?
And then we...
Now wait. In order to pick it up with ass cheeks, you can't have been wearing underwear.
Nope.
We, Yeah, well, they were still on our body, technically. They were kind of
Around your ankles as you scurried along?
Squatting, sweating, nervous, trying to fit in, ass cracked cheeks, opening up, picking up what is normally a delicious treat.
And then you had to waddle over to the house.
And drop the marshmallow.
Right.
As the fraternity brothers that were in charge of this whole thing went, yeah, you dropped that marshmallow on that house.
Drop it.
Yeah.
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 Wow. And then was anything done with the marshmallows? Who had to clean up the marshmallows? Who had to pick them up?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
The pledge didn't have to clean up the marshmallows?
And then Hell Night was over, and then it got back to... That's the weird part. Then it got back to just one big party and banging broads.
How many sorties did you fly over the target?
Dude, it was weird, man. There was another time.
By the way, from now on, forget the Rent Boy book. If anyone screws up, they have to read a transcript of that story.
I know.
That's the new punishment.
Open Bombay doors.
Enola Gay.
Oh, it's awful. There was another time. This was when I was rushing.
Yeah.
This is a legendary story, and the girl never pressed charges, so it's okay. She actually partied with us the next day.
Pressed charges.
And thought it was actually very cool. When I was rushing the fraternity, that's where you go to the fraternity houses and they try to convince you to pledge their fraternity.
Yeah.
And all the brothers come back from all over the country, you know. They get away from their wives for a
San
weekend.
Francisco, Miami, all the country.
Look,
Key West,
Fire Island.
I can't even fight my way out of that story, so I'll just let you guys be. But
yeah. Do you ever put them in your ass cheeks and then warm them over a nice campfire? Did you? Or maybe you could squat over my cocoa.
Marshmallow in your ass. All you need are graham crackers, and you got s'mores.
Yeah.
Already got the delicious chocolate coating.
Dude,
that's
I witnessed when
you
I was
try that with hot dogs.
All right.
Frozen.
All right, relax, Jesus.
Watch it, I'm carrying a bunker buster here.
Look, I share with you guys, and this is what I get. Yeah. This is what I get.
I got a banana. You want to try to pick it up?
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Just awful.
Yeah, that is a real bad thing.
Was it actually hard getting the marshmallow off the guy's cockhead? He'd bury it in his pubes. You have to go all the way down, grab it, and come back up.
Oh, what an ass. Yeah.
Very funny.
Wow. Got to remember, though, I try to get out of all this, too. Anyway, so when I was rushing, there was a girl. They bring the sorority over, and we were having a huge party, and this girl decided that she wanted some bukkake, I guess.
Greg, where are the marshmallows, Greg? Cindy? I need those marshmallows, Cindy.
Oh, no, Dad. There's a lima bean skin on the marshmallow.
Peter, come down with those marshmallows, Peter. That is just an awful thing to have to go through.
It really was.
Hey, Alice, did you go shopping this weekend? Hope you picked up plenty of marshmallows. Got the guys coming over. We're going to bomb the card house we just built with marshmallows. Yes, I hope you picked up some of those little hot cocoa marshmallows for Bobby's tight little ass.
I'm going home now.
That's great.
Yeah, I had a waddle. Someone's asking if I had a waddle.
Cindy, you left some marshmallow stains on the teeter-totter, on the teeter-turner, you asshole. I knew I went one too far. What a dick.
You were feeling good about yourself.
On the Tina Turner.
How about Greg? That's not a marshmallow. That's Oliver's nose.
Very Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Marshmallows. You bomb a house. What's the big deal?
You pick it up and then
kids
you
fun.
waddle across the...
Can I ask you a question?
You waddle. It looks funny. You're walking funny. I understand.
Do you ever get a rod watching the end of Ghostbusters?
This is coming from the Monster Ring guy.
Yes. Who cares? You're dropping marshmallows, dropping T-cells, whatever.
Marshmallow rain.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, anyway, the other story's not as good. Well, it is good, but no one's going to remember the other story when they're thinking about this show later. But this girl had no problem being trained by the whole fraternity. Not the whole
Trained?
fraternity. Yeah. During rushing.
The old, one guy goes, the next guy goes, the next guy.
And
a gangbang. But only it's all not at the same time. It's done in single file.
I remember it like it was yesterday. There was a keg outside the room, and the brothers all lined up with just their underwear on and took turns. And there was a long line all the way down the hall.
Hey, how about that?
I didn't partake, by the way.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Why not?
Were there any condoms being used?
Were you on your stomach with a line at your door?
No. Shut up, you ass. No. I mean, wow.
They pounded it so hard it looked like it was whipped cream in your ass. They churned that marshmallow into butter.
I'm turning your mic off. I have that power, you know. You're done.
Just a slice of bread and you got a fluffernutter.
You're done. I'm turning you off. I can't take any more.
Jimmy's very entertaining today.
All right. Well. No, there was so much splooge on her, it wasn't even funny.
I guess.
Because they weren't nice about it either.
No.
Someone sent in, hey, who was the president of your fraternity? Jim McGreevy? That was Fat Phil from New Jersey. Yes, sir.
I'm a proud marshmallow-carrying American. I admit during my term as governor, I carried marshmallows. Wow, well, you know something? Bravo, Opie, for, opening up, well...
Only when drop time.
Only went over the primary target.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is, to admit that is... But it was many years ago.
Yeah, you didn't know any better.
Of course not.
No.
Marshmallow bombing run on the little house.
Yeah, you can't really defend that one.
No,
that's not wrong with that.
I figured I'd share, though.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Anthony in Jersey. Anthony!
What's up, fellas?
Hey, how are you, man?
Hey, we share a common thread.
Yeah?
We both had Coach write us papers in Geneseo.
Oh, right on, man.
Almost got me kicked out of school.
Let me ask you a question. How did you share a thread? Did you put Rice Krispies on your dick and meet up with Hope and make Rice Krispie treats?
All right.
You know what? I was in a different fraternity. Our fraternities hung out. We didn't do any of that kind of stuff. But
what fraternity were you in?
Sig Tau.
Well, Sig Tau, yeah, those guys were...
I spent many a nights at your fraternity playing Whale's Tales in the basement, Hope.
How cool were the parties, though?
Oh, the parties were... I tell you what, pledging was the worst thing I've ever done over a span of 5 weeks. But
goes in a marshmallow, comes out a Malamar.
Once you're done, though, it's the best thing.
And then the parties are rocking.
Parties are rocking.
It was just, I'm not going to lie, it was, like, really strange. It was bizarre that you go down that road just so you could...
The old dirt road.
Yeah, no shit.
Get on that highway.
Opie's fraternity, at least when I was there a couple years after you, was certainly not a drug-free fraternity. I'll say that.
Man,
they were smoking poles.
No, these guys were hardcore.
Those guys had connections to South America out of there.
No, there was there was major
drug fiends,
major cocaine going through that fraternity. I had a friend that.
Well, sure, they're also good at smuggling it. You're going to attempt a kilo? Yeah.
That's it. You squat over Columbia. You come back up.
Pick up a plant. Get on a plane.
But I got a good, I got a bad story to tell you. An unfunny story. I'll try to lower the expectations.
Very good.
One thing that we had to go through was, they blindfold you, we had about 18 guys we pledged with. They throw like 3 each in a car, blindfold you. This is about like midnight, and it's, below zero up there. And they drop you off like 30 miles away.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to jump in. That was another thing we did. They would get you really wasted, making believe, you were taking a break from pledging. And
now you're one of the guys hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what it was. It's all about that. It's like, they abuse you like crazy, and then all of a sudden when you think there's more abuse, then they throw you a party. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they invite the sororities, but then sometimes these parties were a setup. And then, what they do is they get you really wasted, man, and you're smoking pot and you're drinking. Next thing you know, they completely attack you, tie you up, put a blindfold on you, and throw you in cars. Ooh. And depending on how much they liked you or didn't like you, they would drop you off in the middle of nowhere. In Geneseo, man, it's all farms, I mean, you can't figure it out. And they would just drop you off in the middle of a field. You're I'm telling you.
Were you naked or?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're completely hammered. To the point you can't really even stand some of these guys. Mm-hmm. And they would drop you off with another guy or maybe 2 other guys. And then you had to find your way home.
Only a marshmallow to eat for the whole way back.
Right. No money, nothing. And some of these guys would be dropped off in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, because this guy's saying 30 miles. Our fraternity, no, there was some pledges that the brothers just hated, and they would drop them off over the border in Canada. Which, do the math, I don't know, at least a couple 100 miles, right?
Oh, yeah, at least 100 miles.
At least 100 miles away. And then, all night long, they're trying to get back to, the school.
Brother Flounder and Brother Pinto.
So, go ahead.
Long walk back.
Anthony, go ahead.
No, well, and getting dropped off up there is not like getting dropped off on Jericho Turnpike back on the island.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, It's all farms, so you're waiting for that one truck, hopefully, to be, driving down that old country road.
And they tell you, they gave us each like a 6-pack and some joints. And the deal is, you're supposed to bond and use each other to find your way back. They're like, you're not supposed to ask for any help. It's about 2 in the morning, and I say, enough is enough. I'm going and I'm knocking on this door. It was a big farm, but it was a house. So I go and knock on the door about 2 in the morning. The dogs start barking. The lights come on. The kids, so the guy finally comes downstairs. Apologize for waking him up and all, but I go, I just need directions back to Geneseo. He looks at me and the 2 guys standing in the street, and he goes, well, where's your car? And I said, we're on foot. He just shook his head. He knew it was a fraternity thing and just said, boy, there's no way you're going to make it back. So we made it back finally about 7 in the morning, but I would say at least 3 or 4 guys had to go to the infirmary with frostbite and things like that. So
nice. There you go, frostbite.
Good stuff. Good stuff you can laugh about now.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Let's say hi to Chris in New York. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
What's up?
Opie, the grand finale.
Yeah.
Was it the cum cookie?
Oof. No.
Come on.
Put it in the middle.
No, nothing like that.
The cum cookie.
No. Jim from Long Island, what's up?
Crunch.
Hey, what's up, Jim?
Went to school up in Potsdam, and I de-pledged. It was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. Did you have to do any of this weird gay crap?
I started getting into it, and then that's when I left. The semester I de-pledged, someone in the other school in town died, and then later on I went to move to a house with my friends. We had better parties than the fraternities. So.
All right.
How did he die? He had so many marshmallows in his ass they began to leak into his brain.
You're obsessed with this marshmallow thing.
Kind of sugar poisoning.
So anyway, this pledge tells a vicious beating, Anthony. The victim of a twisted hazing ritual told a Queens jury yesterday he urinated blood and suffered seizures after 3 members of a St. John's frat pummeled him on the buttocks with a 2-pound paddle. Ooh. Once again with the paddle.
Paddling an ass.
The beatings were punishment for slip-ups during hardcore drill sessions in an off-campus park, said Brian. We had to recite history, poems, and if we were incorrect or we messed up, we'd get paddled. If you bobbled your words when you spoke, if you recited a poem wrong, history wrong, or answered a question wrong, you got hit.
Oh, my God, you bobble your words. Imagine the Collins' ass would look like chopped meat.
Colin Quinn?
Yeah.
The three face up to 7 years in prison for the assaults, which allegedly took place in June. This fraternity has a policy that forbids hazing, Anthony.
Oh.
It's still going on, though. They have to tell the campus that, oh, no, our fraternity doesn't do the hazing. And, he was in the hospital for like 3 months with all sorts of kidney problems and urinating blood and all that.
Yeah, if you're not doing something that's extremely gay, you're doing something that could probably kill somebody or send them to the hospital.
He's getting paddled. Getting paddled is gayer than the marshmallow thing is really humiliating and silly.
Gay.
Well, you could call it silly. That's one word.
Dude.
Yeah. Gay.
I wasn't naked.
You picked them up with your ass cheeks. It didn't mosey its way into your underwear.
No, I had like this and then this.
That's awful.
And this.
Oh.
Because your mule wasn't showing.
No.
You had just slipped the boyish stain with nervous sweat.
Your yam bag was bouncing off the marshmallow as you're just kind of bunny hopping.
With your socks and sneakers.
A marshmallow hanging.
Ugh.
You get caught up in hair. Something, get all sticky.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Would you do that, Ant?
I would.
No, Ant. No.
I would so not even be within a 100-mile blast radius of whatever was going on.
Listen, this was
at a fraternity.
This was a different. There's no way I would do anything like that again. It was a different time. It was. I don't know.
What time was it?
It was. I don't know.
6 monkeys at a turd throwing party.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
He's up on the gay shit.
Oh, Jim.
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
Trick or treating, Anthony. Halloween. Did you have a good Halloween?
It was Halloween weekend, wasn't it? Where all the little kiddies come out and do their trick-or-treating. It's pretty much the first year I'm able to participate in any type of Halloween event. Because, I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in an apartment building in horrible Brooklyn.
They don't trick-or-treat down the halls in these apartments?
No one wants to open the goddamn doors anyway. They're in fear for their lives. Why would you open the door if anyone's knocking? You should have seen me in that apartment. It was like I was battening down the hatches. I went to the mattresses. I swear to God, anytime my buzzer would ring, I'd be like, oh, what is this now? It's got to be a problem. And then you'd hear, FedEx! And I'm there looking through the peephole. And then I still got that in me, like I don't want to make it seem like I'm paranoid and untrusting, so I'd slowly open the peephole thing and take a look, so as not to make him think outside that I'm looking at him through the peephole. But I'm petrified, I don't like those barge-in type of home invasion things where it's like, UPS. You're like, oh, okay. You fling the door open, and then before you know it, you're getting railed in the ass as somebody's stealing your...
I know you had to use the black UPS
valuables.
Jesus.
What? No, the guy had a deep voice. What? That's all I said.
They're making a delivery, and it's 10 inches of black dick.
Well, it's never, UPS and then a home delivery.
Yeah, all right.
Like, open the dough.
Open my dough.
Yeah. So we didn't do any... we didn't buy candy and hope that little trick-or-treaters would come. You're batting down the hatches. But I've since moved, Opie. As you know, I have moved to a nice community on Long Island.
No, you moved...
The wealth that Infinity Broadcasting has given me has afforded me the chance to now move out of Brooklyn, where I was for 5 years of a nightmare. And I finally decided I was going to move into a nicer neighborhood.
No, it's time to get into this a little bit.
Huh?
You, Anthony, who there was a time you were homeless.
I wasn't homeless.
You lived out of your car for a little while.
Oh, that's not as much homeless as it is living in your car.
All right, you were living in a car for a while.
I was between homes, but I definitely didn't want to make a career of it.
And then when you and I met, you were living in, like, Huntington Station with your car up on blocks.
Well,
and then, but that was an improvement. You had a nice little apartment.
Oh.
And then we moved up to Boston to do some radio. I will fucking kill you if you start that today. I will fucking kill you. Looks like someone needs attention. Let me and Anthony talk for a little while. We'll get to you in a minute there, Jimmy. Jesus. So then, so then we move up to Boston to do some radio, and then you were pretty much living in the projects.
Yes.
In the apartment complex where people like fenced off their
little patios.
Well, I was going to say their space, but it wasn't their space. It was everybody's space.
It was.
And they made little chicken coops and stuff.
Yeah,
For
chicken
good
coops.
eating.
And then the little Brazil. I guess they were from Brazil and Ecuador. All the people that lived in this apartment in Ashland, Massachusetts, where I live. And whenever it would rain, the potholes, which there were a lot of in the parking lot out in front of the building, would fill up with water, and the little children would play in the puddles.
It was their pools.
And I'd look out my window through my sliding glass door on the 3rd floor and look down and go, I do radio. Why am I living here? I had this illusion that if you did radio, you must live nicely, but no, not up there. I was living in the slums.
So then we got fired, then you move home.
Yeah.
We both moved back to Huntington for a while.
Lived in Huntington for a while.
And you lived in the Huntington house part-time.
Yeah. For a little while.
And then I'm just, giving the Anthony timeline here.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
And you were just discussing the whole Brooklyn apartment and all that.
Brooklyn, I had to leave my vehicle out on the street where it got tickets every day for alternate side parking because I'm too stupid and lazy to move my vehicle.
Right.
And it would get keyed, and on Halloween, forget about it. You just get eggs on it, and it was awful. So, yes, I finally decided I was going to move. I'm moving on up.
So you moved on up to a very Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get out today. You,
Yeah.
Anthony.
I am Catholic.
The
I am
Italian stallion.
born and raised Catholic. Yes, the Italian stallion, they call me. That's what they call me in the neighborhood, Opie.
The Italian
The
stallion.
Italian stallion, Ray. Yeah.
And they saw you coming a mile away because you like to spend your money.
Well,
Jesus.
in a way, I have, after being paid for 2 years for doing nothing by infinity, I figured I would splurge a bit.
You drove up in your new ride. They weren't sure if a rapper was moving into the neighborhood or the Italian stallion.
They were a little fearful at first when I pulled up because you can't see who's driving through the tint. And I believe they thought some rapper was moving in to tear up their neighborhood.
Backed up your ride and unloaded all your computer equipment and your flat screen TVs.
Oh, the big screen TV came in the door and I was set.
And now you're living in, when I say it's 99.5% Jewish, am I lying?
Yeah. My neighbors are a surgeon. I have a surgeon on one side, a Wall Street broker on the other, and the other one's a lawyer.
It's just funny.
It's pretty much just Jewville. I moved to a place, look at the map of Long Island, and find Jewville.
You are in Jewville.
I am in Jewville. That's where I live.
So you must have been very excited. It was your first year that you could have trick-or-treaters come to the door, right?
Well, Opie, my girlfriend was a little upset the past few years because no trick-or-treaters would come to the door. And I am so paranoid, I just barricade the doorway. I don't want people coming to the Brooklyn apartment. So this is pretty much the first year she was very excited that little trick-or-treaters would be coming to the door. Bought a whole bunch of candy. Put it in the big, giant bowl by the door and waited for the little trick-or-treaters to come.
This is not the Anthony I know. This is not the Anthony that I met 10 years ago.
That's okay. I was playing online poker during the whole thing, so, I was still living life like I usually live it.
I have a feeling your girlfriend went to the door with a big bowl of candy, and you were kind of right behind her, all happy.
No, I
glowing.
For the first couple?
You had your little Jewish sweater on.
I did.
I think when you're not doing this, edgy shock jock radio show, you actually wear, horned-rimmed glasses.
No,
Come to the door with your pipe and a paper under your arm and a sweater on.
The sweater with the patches on the sleeves.
I have a feeling you completely change your attire when you leave this joint.
I have the yarmulke on my head.
Right.
I'm wearing it on my noggin.
The little pipe as your girlfriend's all proud giving the little kids their candy.
I rub the mezuzah on the side of the door before I go in.
What?
There's the Jewish, when I moved in, obviously a Jewish person
Please
lived there.
tell me you had no idea what this was until you moved into the Jewish
No, I knew
neighborhood.
from Brooklyn, because there's a lot of Jews in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
too,
but the Brooklyn Jews are the ones with the curly fries
I know,
sideburns.
but they still have the mezuzah on the door.
And the big top hats.
A mezuzah is a thing in your doorway. that the Jews like touch or something before they go in their door. It's got some, religious significance. I have no clue what it is. There's a little scroll inside. There's a little scroll with some Hebrew words on it inside, and they put it in their door. And when you walk in your door, you give it a little rub. But I moved in and got out the old claw hammer and pulled those things right off the doorway because I'm Catholic. Right. I can't have such a thing in my house, in my Catholic house. I'm in enough trouble with the church. Like, I'm going to have mezuzahs on my door?
I think that's why you moved to the Jewish neighborhood. The Catholic religion doesn't like you and I these days. And you're like, I think I need to find some new people.
I had to pull off the little thing that the Jews put up there, considering they are the people that murdered my Savior. Why would I then have something... Yes, I moved into a Jewish neighborhood, and we were looking forward to the little trick-or-treaters coming to the door. My girlfriend, very psyched. She had little devil horns on to greet the children with and everything. And
knowing you, I bet you were the cool house.
We had some good candy, yeah.
Full-size candy bars?
A few of those, but some of the snack ones, just a lot. But making up in quantity for the size of it. The kids were able to take whatever they wanted. The first kid that came was asking, could I take 3? And I was like, sure. Take all you want, lil kid. Look, ding dong. Oh, let's run to the door. My girlfriend running. I'm kind of standing back, because...
You're right behind her, all proud.
I didn't know whether to call the bed or fold my hand on my video poker, so I'm looking over, and I see... Oh, you're a little princess, aren't you? Yes. And then before the little kid even took the candy, the father goes, what do you say? And she goes, thank you. It's like, no, trick or treat. She was saying thank you, Opie, before she even took any candy. So then she, asked for 3, and fine, and then a few more come. Oh, ding dong. Run to the door. It's like, look, we got a little ball player. We got a little baseball player from the championship Red Sox. Look at that, a little Red Sox, and
that's when you gave out the arsenic, right?
You're right. Yeah,
you got to waste candy.
Beat him with a Yankee bat.
That old gag. Who the hell is poisoning kids on freaking Halloween?
Nobody. It's a gag.
Nobody.
So then after the first 2 trick-or-treaters, we started noticing a trend, Opie.
Here. See?
We started noticing a little trend.
I have to say, I thought we could start our show with a nice little story.
It was adorable.
Ripped right out of your life.
Oh, ding dong.
But here we go. This is where it goes horribly wrong.
We got a clown and a soldier and the Tin Man. Take all you want, kids. Oh, may I take 2, please? Here you go. Here's some Twizzlers. And here's a Butterfinger for you. And take a Rice Krispie treat,
just like a Jew. You had all your candy all organized.
All organized. The kids could take whatever they want.
You look like you need some Twizzlers.
Yes. You could use some Twizzlers. And then I noticed when it started getting dark, ding dong. Oh, let's go to the door. You got some candy? I'm like, what? Where? Let me check my zip code. What has happened? Opie. And that was the rest of the night.
Well, the Schwoogies come out at night.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it seemed to me that they are driving and busing in inner-city children to the nice neighborhoods to get good candy.
You Jewish people have come up with the word Schwoogie for the black people.
I'm Catholic, Opie. I just live in the Jewish neighborhood.
From this day on, you are Jewish.
Opie. I'm Catholic, living in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm a Jew looking for... I'm a Jew looking for sanctuary.
Looking to return to Israel.
Looking to return to Israel. Opie.
So the Schwoogies were trick-or-treating in your neighborhood?
It seems to me that the inner-city children are either bussed in or driven by family members into the white neighborhoods to get good candy.
Isn't that stupid?
Because I don't believe that black neighborhoods have candy to give out. I just don't see that happening. Maybe they're a little more concerned with keeping the electricity on in the inner city impoverished neighborhoods, or, paying the rent that month. And candy is not a priority. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I have not seen an inner city child, a child of some other ethnic background than Jewish, in my neighborhood since I moved there. All of a sudden, when the sun went down on Halloween night, all I saw were inner city children, and loads of them. And let me tell you something. It wasn't, may I have 3, please? This one kid comes up, said he had 11 friends. I'm not kidding. I got 11 friends. Grabbed hold of the big round tray that we had the candy on, and swiped his forearm across half of it, and put it in his bag.
He was just.
My girlfriend goes, hey!
He was just practicing for the time, he breaks into the jewelry store.
The jewelry store. He's practicing the forearm swipe. The forearm swipe. So my girlfriend's like, hey now. And I'm like, honey, let him take all he wants. There's plenty more candy where that came from, son. You take whatever you want. So I was fearful of the black child, just like my Jewish neighbors. I was really fitting in. As a matter of fact, I looked across at my Jewish neighbor across the street, and while that was happening, he was like looking at me, shaking his head, going and doing that slicing with his finger across it, like, no, let him take what he wants. Oy vey, don't fight it. We go through this every year. Oy. And put your mezuzah back on your door, you fucking Catholic. Unbelievable.
That's classic.
I couldn't, but where were they coming from?
Well, when
I could not believe it.
When I was a kid growing up on Long Island, one of 7 kids, my parents, we were pretty smart, too. We would go to the nicer neighborhoods thinking that that's where the good candy was.
You didn't have a lot when you grew up, right,
No,
Opie?
nothing.
You tell me
Absolutely
stories
nothing.
of the big treat when you went to the beaches, buttered bread with margarine bread with sugar on it.
Our snacks when we went to my grandma's house in Wading River was margarine and butter sandwiches.
Margarine and sugar, wasn't it?
I mean, sorry, it's still early. Margarine and sugar sandwiches.
Right.
Yes.
Now, so you didn't have much.
You know what's funny? I brought up this story recently at my Uncle Tom's wedding.
Nice name.
Uncle Tom got married, and one of my aunts goes, I was listening to your radio show. It wasn't margarine and sugar sandwiches.
Oh,
it was butter and sugar sandwiches. Whoa, hey.
Well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you guys.
Now we're living high on the hog. Butter and sugar. So you didn't have much, and now you're telling me that you were indeed driven
without
to
a
the
doubt.
nicer neighborhoods.
Yeah, we would jump into our van and be dropped off in the nice neighborhoods because we knew the nice candy was there. The big candy, definitely.
The big full-size candy bars, the nice selection, the quantity. That's what I got. I have 11 friends. 11 friends. Sure you do. And it's just, you just see the contrast between the kids from the neighborhood, who, by the way, were off the streets when that sun went down. Ooh, that was it. I think they knew. It was like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
They knew. Get off the street. And then it was just, city children that were brought into the neighborhood.
This Halloween thing's getting messed up because, it's just like everything else in the world. It's, the whole PC thing has come into Halloween as well.
Yep.
And, parents are scared that some old lady's gonna, put a razor blade in an apple or something, which is so ridiculous. Couldn't you tell if there was a razor blade in an apple? First of all, that old gag. So now Halloween has become, trick-or-treating around the town or at the mall.
You have a separate little party.
Right.
That the kids trick-or-treat at the one party with the parents just handing out their...
Because
they're petrified of their kids getting raped, abducted, murdered. So they have these safe things. Yeah, the mall, Opie. So take them to the mall.
Well, Huntington had the first annual Halloween parade.
Oh, is Huntington trying to... Was it a bunch of gay people dressed as vampires? Like New York?
Wait,
no?
Now you're trying to say Huntington's a gay town?
No, I'm just saying any Halloween parade usually involves a lot of gay people dressed as vampires.
Speaking of which, we went to we didn't. The interns went down to the village for the Halloween parade. And
I went last year. I shan't go again.
No?
No.
Well, we got some audio. Supposedly this audio is great, so we'll get it on later. But, no, Huntington had their first Halloween parade where all the kids dressed up and then the parents walk with the kids down Main Street. There had to be 1,000 people. Can't even see the little fellas in their costumes because mom and dad have to be the center of attention walking down with them with their video camera. So it's
you're a little cowboy. You're dressed like a little cowboy.
So they had the kids walk like 2 or 3 blocks, and then it's every man for themselves, and the shops were told that to open their doors for trick-or-treaters.
Oh, boy.
Dude, it was pretty much extortion in Huntington yesterday.
Open your doors.
It was pretty much no one got any business done in Huntington yesterday because all the parents and all the kids and these effing moms who think, they're more important than anyone else have the huge big strollers going in and out of the stores, which is blocking the doorways, blah, blah, blah. And people started closing their shops and putting huge signs up going, "We ran out of candy. Leave us alone." Because it was just a mob scene.
Of course.
An absolute mob scene. It was extortion, And then you hear the parents, like Dunkin' Donuts wasn't giving out any candy. Fucking Dunkin' Donuts not giving out candy on Halloween. Who the fuck do they think they are? And they're saying this in front of their little kids dressed up as Spidey and Ariel and all that crap.
Trying to do business? Fuck you. Pay me.
I'll be
out of candy? Fuck you. Pay me.
I'll be back. I'll be back. It was extortion, and you could see it on the shopkeepers' faces. They were paranoid that their stores were going to get ruined.
Of course they were.
And so most of these places had really nice candy, basically saying, "Here, look what we gave you,"
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
That's what they do for the kids now, to keep them safe.
My brother has a good story. I don't know if he wants to go on mic, but the kids that just have the costumes that just what are the parents thinking? You want on, Brett, or what? No, go ahead. All right,
look at him. No, go ahead. He was telling me earlier. He said saw one kid come to the door. He goes, "There's some fat kid in a Spider-Man costume." And it's got to be heartbreaking for the parent. The parent's trying to work with the kid's physique.
Yeah.
Maybe you want a nice Shrek costume this year?
Right.
I want to be Spider-Man.
Why don't we just make some muscles and say you're Hulk?
You could be the Hulk this year. I got this great green that we can put on.
I want to be Spidey. I want to be Spidey. I want to be Spidey.
So kid's got 2 cans of Cheese Whiz strapped to his wrist, spraying it into his mouth.
I'm Spidey.
Big fat kid comes to the door. Your brother's saying he comes to the door and he's all sweating, just coming up the 3 steps to the door. Yeah, it's Fat Spider-Man.
Yeah, the kid's 8 years old. He wants to be a Fat Spider-Man.
Some of those costumes, the parents got to step up because you're just making the kid look ridiculous. And a fat kid in a Spider-Man suit can't afford to be made to look ridiculous. Dress him up in something appropriate. Little fat kid costume, something.
Right.
A big fat clown. You don't want to put him in that.
He's a fat black kid. Put a little Barbie doll on his right shoulder.
Have him grip it. And then you could make a mobile over his head with biplanes. Just going by. He could swat out of them. That'd be cute.
That's classic.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go to the swing state of Ohio, Anthony.
If your kid is a mongoloid,
yeah,
you don't want to dress him up like Superman. It looks silly. Just looks silly. He's trying to save the world, and he can't keep his tongue in his mouth.
Well, although I did see a couple Superman costumes, and the kids were in strollers, and I was thinking to myself, this is not that inaccurate.
Look at the little Superman.
Oh, it's post-accident Superman.
Oh, and look at the lady next to him scooping out shit.
You sure this candy won't gum up your respirator works, kid?
We're going to go to the swing state of Ohio, Anthony.
The swing state.
We have started our election coverage officially. Let's say hi to Russ in Cleveland, actually. What's up, Russ?
What's going on? And let's not talk about the election. Other competitors like to do that. But I'd like to talk about the clockwork that happens in my white town, where the busted-up SUV with all the rust comes into town. About 25 of the little ghetto kids come out. They're not dressed up. They do have goatees and afros, and then they come and expect candy, get all pissed off.
No, that's their costumes. They're dressed up like old ABA players.
And then you ask them what they are, and they just say, "You got candy or not?" And then they walk away. Un-fucking-believable. Glad to have you guys back, man.
Oh, thank you. Let's go to Florida to say hi to Pat. How are those voting boots? Oh, boy, let me tell you. Hey, Pat.
Hey, how are you? Hey, I moved down from Jersey into a nice gated community.
Well, they got into a gated community.
And it's all nice. You got the families walking around, the neighborhood families with the little princesses, and then it gets dark, and then you see these busted up Lexuses. You get all these swiggy kids dressed up as basketball players coming together.
It's something I haven't seen before.
And then later on in the evening, you get a van pull up, and then you have the Mexican builders drinking beers. Their kids are rolling out of this thing, just running up there, grabbing candy.
Dude, it's just inner city kids. Once the night comes, it's all just inner city children that are brought to these neighborhoods to get good candy. And of course they are. When you think about it, of course, you're giving out free stuff. You think a little distance is going to help you out there? I could not get my vehicle in the garage quick enough when the sun went down. I am just Mr. Wilson. You damn kids! I had to clean out the garage because there's still stuff from when we moved.
Yeah.
I'm like, me and the girlfriend are in there just, please, get enough room. I don't care what it takes. Quick, the sun's going down. Here they come. Like a scene out of Night of the Living Dead. Oh, my God, here they come. Get the vehicle in. Push the mirrors in the side. We can squeeze it between the boxes.
That's so funny.
The garage door's coming down as one egg is flying through midair in slow motion.
Hits the door, boom. Whew. Just in time.
Safe, got it in the compound.
Let's say hi to Left in Philly.
Hey, guys, what's up?
How about your Eagles, huh, bro? Come on.
I'm telling you, 7-0. 7-0.
Only undefeated team left in the NFL, Ben.
What happened, Ben?
It was the Red Sox week. The Patriots.
All right, whatever.
Whatever. Steelers spanked you bad over the weekend.
They kicked our ass. No doubt about it.
What's going on, Left?
Hey, back in my old neighborhood, we used to do trick-or-treating like 3 days before actually Halloween. And then, like Halloween night, because the projects were like 4 blocks away, everybody would just shut out their lights and not even answer the door.
That trick-or-treating before or after Halloween never worked. I knew some kid when I was growing up, and he goes, yeah, let's go trick-or-treating. It was the day after, and I'm like, I'm not going trick-or-treating. It's not even Halloween. He goes, no, watch. And he walks up to the door, and this kid, it must have been a kid, but to us it was a man, but he must have been 18 or something. And the kid that I'm with goes, trick-or-treat, and the 18-year-old kid smacked him in the face. It's like, see what it gets? He just reached out and smacked him.
Let's go to Kansas.
Gag never works.
Hey, Rex, what's up?
Hey, not much. Hey, what's wrong with having a fat Spider-Man out trick-or-treat? We put a fat Batman on TV back in the 60s, wasn't it?
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't. The kids are just going to make fun of him.
Right.
I think Shrek would be good for fat kids. There should have been a bunch of little fat Shreks running around.
But all these stupid soccer moms that want to be PC, oh, you can be whatever you want, son, and they march the kid outside in a big fat Spider-Man outfit.
Look awful.
Yeah, they can be anything you want, but you still have to be realistic.
You have to be accurate. I mean, if your son has Down syndrome, just paint little red stitches on his face and tell everyone he's Mr. Met.
All right, we're going to take our first break, Anthony.
No.
We got lots to do. We got to get to the Bin Laden tape next.
All the kids that came to my door were dressed from the cast of Soul Plane. I don't know. I was quite frightened.
You want to hear the AIDS song as we go to break here?
Oh, I love this.
A lot of people saw Team America, World Police.
America! I like that one, too.
See, I would love to go see Team America, but the movie's still too popular.
Yeah.
I have given up seeing these movies when they first come out.
Yeah.
Because then no one can sit still in a movie theater anymore.
They can't shut up. They can't sit still, and the cell phones are just ringing.
Cell phones, God, we are starting to get old. Because the kids, with their cell phones...
The kids are so disrespectful these days.
Their attention span is ridiculous.
Yeah,
they cannot sit through a movie without getting up, getting food... going out to take a phone call if they're not taking the phone call at their seats.
I wish they'd get up and leave. I don't care when they get up and leave.
Joking. They think what they have to say to the screen is funnier than what's on the screen.
Yeah.
I don't mind people that heckle in a movie theater if it's funny crap.
Right.
But usually it's
quick line.
Usually it's stupid crap that means nothing, that is just making everyone else pissed off.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to see Team America yet.
No.
Or is it Team American?
Team America.
Yeah, why does it say Team American on this?
I don't go. I have people burn movies. Just sit at home, watch it. I got that Shaun of the Dead. You ever see that?
I hear it's unbelievable.
One of the funniest movies ever made, Shaun of the Dead. Had it on DVD.
Why is it so funny?
It's just hysterical. It's very funny. It's English, first of all, which is funny in itself. Love that accent. No, it's very funny. Got to say it. Well done.
Oh, my God, this guy. Richard the trucker. I want to go to break, but go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, listen, my parents always had this tradition. We'd have one bowl with really good candy, like the Twizzlers and the Kit Kat and stuff like that. And then we'd have another bowl for the downtown kids that were...
This is perfect! Thank you so much. This is next year's plan. I am getting a bowl with the good candy for the good little children, and then the crappy candy bowl for the inner city children that don't live in my neighborhood.
You break out the crappy candy when it's someone that you know is going to tell others. Because remember when we were growing up, if a house was giving out the full size, let's say Hershey bars,
yeah,
and you saw all your other friends from school in the neighborhood like, yo, go to house 36, they're
they
giving
got
out the
good
big
stuff.
candy bars. But if you know it's some kid that's not going to cause problem, you give the big Hershey bar. But if it's some kid that's going to, rat you out that you got the cool candy, that's when you break out the cheap candy.
Dude, Richard, what kind of candy did you have in the crappy bowl?
We
candy
went down
corn.
to the, no, not even that. Not even
little
candy
boxes
corn.
of raisins.
No, not even. We went down and picked up that bulk candy, like those little gumballs. That took like 20 of them before you felt them in your mouth, and you couldn't taste anything.
And the bad wrapped hard candy.
And those stupid Mary Jane bars.
Yeah, the shit that nobody eats.
That is great. What an idea.
Nice, Richard.
Genius. Why didn't I think of that?
I've been gangbanging, killing, stealing, robbing motherfuckers, selling crack, got my holes in the back. I don't give a fuck about nobody in this motherfucker. Let me show your ass something.
Radio for the angry golfer.
The Opie and Anthony Show. Here's Opie and Anthony when they're not awful.
Okay, terrific.
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
No more of that. It's bad for you.
The phones have exploded. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
So is the instant feedback, Opie. Cody from Buffalo says, best idea ever. Someone patent the Schwoogie Bowl.
Oh.
And Cage saying, so when it gets dark, the Grand Theft Auto cast shows up at your door. Also, there was a Mongoloid that had a wheelchair, and they built a trash collector's truck around it and wheeled him around. Fucking brilliant. Guys very taken with that.
Yeah.
And then Greg from Bloomfield, New Jersey. Back when we lived in Passaic, New Jersey, we would hand out nickels for Halloween, 2 per person. Then, like you were saying, at night the bell rang. There were 3 black guys, saw the jar of nickels, swiped it from my hand, pushed me in the door, and ran away. Happy Halloween.
Everybody. Let's say hi to Ryan in Jersey. Hey, Ryan.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Not too much, man. Yeah, I lived in this town. We lived in a nice neighborhood, but the thing was there was a pretty pretty run down town, this town of Plainfield, and it was all ghetto. And my one of my friends when I was growing up, his father was so racist, and he would have the little Brax butterscotch candies for us little black kids that would come trick or treating, and then when there was he wouldn't even care, even when there was white kids and stuff standing there with a bunch of black kids, he would still give the black kids the little butterscotches and give us all the Baby Ruths and everything else. And they get all pissed off. It was just
he segregated his candy.
Oh, it was, dude, I couldn't believe it. My family wasn't, they had one bowl, but he was just racist and out there about it. The first time I heard the N-word was from him. Oh, it was awesome.
It was awesome. There you go. Jesus, Ryan. Get a hold of yourself. Thank you. There goes Ryan. Okay. Speaking of Halloween, we were going to do this later in the show, but I hear there's so much audio that we should play a few of these. We sent Noah and Nathaniel down to the Halloween parade in the village.
Who's Noah and Nathaniel?
They're our interns.
Oh, that's their names?
And the only reason I know their names is because they wrote it down in front of me.
Oh. Is that which one is he?
That's Noah, right?
That's Noah.
And yeah, bring him in real fast. We got to set this up. Yeah, every year in New York City they play. They have this Halloween parade in the village.
Everyone knows about it across the nation. This thing is like what they show on the news to show the rest of the nation that New York is a walking freak show, because that parade is just everything that I believe a normal gay man who just wants to live his life, maybe runs his own business. Maybe just works for a living. Not flamboyantly gay. That's his sexual preference, but everything else in his life is just like you and me, Opie. This is the parade he hates, because it's just this flamboyant, over-the-top, cross-dressing, gay, butt sex in the street kind of night. And our interns captured some of that on audio tape last night?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
You must have been a real treat down there last night, let me tell you.
You're like chum down
there. Those good abs
Jesus.
And not a hair on his face, Jimmy.
Yeah, we got
broad smile.
Yeah, we got propositioned a couple times.
Of course you did.
That
was before you left this studio. Awful.
So it's pretty crazy down there,
it was
obviously.
Ridiculous. Yeah, we had a
lot of nudity.
One of the girls wanted to take out Nathaniel, big busty Latina girl.
Yeah, a girl.
Those aren't girls.
I'm sure it's a girl.
Lady.
Just like that girl Jimmy got a BJ from with the big back.
Happy Halloween, Daddy.
Jesus.
I'm a nice young lady tonight.
With that voice, that tranny voice. Oh, never sexy.
Well, that's subjective.
You want a treat? Trick or treat.
So you were popular down there?
We were popular. We got accosted by probably a gang of like 4 or 5, big hooded black guys. We were talking to some homeless guy, and they all just started.
Big hooded gay black guys.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. I don't think they were gay, but they were definitely menacing.
Oh, yeah, really? See,
Yeah, well,
a little
look at
bit of everything shows up at the parade. There are the people in the parade and then the people that want to rob them. So it's a good hand. It balances out things.
What did they do, the black youths who...
We were talking to some homeless guy, and I think we kind of felt like they might be thinking that we were, exploiting him a little bit, and they were going to just take us out. But no, they just wanted to give shout-outs on the mic.
Of course. And you said, get away from me, right? No shout-outs for you.
Yeah.
Here, take over our airwaves. We don't care.
They pretty much took over the microphone.
Yeah, for about 5 minutes. Actually.
5 minutes. How'd you get the microphone back from?
We ran away. Really fast.
They didn't try to steal the mic?
You told me you played on the air, so they probably gave you the stuff.
Oh,
back
exactly.
So you
Yeah,
could hear
shout
yourself on
out.
the air.
Good one.
All right.
Holmes.
The first track is this lady that wanted you guys to suck her TTs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Was she a lady, or was she?
She was like 30, 35, something like that.
What'd she look like?
She was,
I bet she had a huge ass.
Yeah, pretty big. She had her husband right there with her.
Oh, really?
Smiling away.
That wasn't her husband.
Something.
Didn't you know the bulge in front of her pants? All right, let's check out the audio.
Go for it.
Smack that ass and I'll make it red and I'll make it hard and I'll ride you into the motherfucking sunset.
Oh,
that was awesome. Okay, there you go. No, just my tits. Suck 'em. Yeah, just the tits. Just the tits. Just the tits.
You're saying that like 12 more times.
Just the tits. Fuck my tits. Suck my tits. Do whatever you want to my tits.
How did she get from the city to my house, though, so quickly last night?
That's a guy, no?
No, it was definitely
Jimmy?
a girl.
I want to
You're
know
the
if,
expert.
I want to know if Raj and Dee were there and heard her talking about it.
Ooh, Raj.
You in trouble if Mom and her amputated legs hears you? That sounds like a woman.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a woman. That sounds like the most unsexy woman ever.
She was awful.
All right, mess. Here's the interns talking to the homeless guy down in the middle of the parade
All right.
last night.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir.
How you doing with XM Satellite Radio? How you doing?
What? Exactly.
How you doing tonight? All the craziness. How can any sane man be doing? Craziness. Are you going out as anything tonight? Are you dressed up as anything tonight?
A hobo.
Are you dressed up as anything tonight? Dressed up? There's nothing to dress up for.
He has no idea it's Halloween. He has no idea it's even Halloween.
He's just trying to collect his cans, and you guys are bothering him.
Well, what is it? I dress up for what? I'm dressed like a bum.
You certainly are.
Yeah, Nathaniel felt kind of dirty asking him that question over and over again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a rough question, and then you have to repeat it 2 or 3 times. You feel kind of bad.
He's dressed up as Stink, and it's working.
You picked the wrong fella. I'm not. I think it's a shame the gullibility of the masses of people. I think it's really a shame.
Yeah.
Huh? Why do you think they're gullible? Well, because somebody say Halloween, and somebody said party, and everybody just, somebody says dress up, so everybody dress up.
Somebody say work. Somebody say earn a living. Somebody say pay rent for a roof over your head. They're so gullible. I don't fall into being gullible. Somebody say wash your ass.
What the? I love our homeless here in New York.
We have the best homeless.
We
in
really
America.
do.
They are just crackpots.
That's not gullible. I don't know what is.
Do you normally hang out around here?
Huh?
Do you normally hang out around here?
I don't hang out around any place.
It's his home. He just calls it living his life. We would call it hanging out. He's at home.
You're in his living room.
Man.
Some people earn money.
Yeah.
I live wherever I can. I don't hang out any place.
All right, man. So this whole bunch of freaks, then you're not a fan of this. You're not a fan of this whole freak collection here. This whole bunch of freaks.
Say that a little slower, please.
You're not a fan of this whole freak collection here. All these crazies coming around here.
Well, look, you know.
Screws with your day,
What did the
right?
Beatles say? The games people play.
What? What did the Beatles say? The games people play?
I don't know what the Beatles say, but I'm sure he could tell you what the Roaches say. Dirty idiot.
Yeah.
What'd the Beatles say? All you need is soap. What'd the Beatles say? I want to hold your wallet.
Quick, more Beatles songs. Let's run with this.
Yeah.
All right, wait, what'd the Beatles say? Yellow underpants?
I just live in some yellow underpants. Well, they're brown around the back.
The street collection, the this, the that, the homeless. You got policemen walking around here like they're soldiers. You got soldiers walking around like they're policemen.
No, that's just the village people. They're part of the parade.
You got Indians walking through and cowboys. You got construction workers fucking the cowboy.
Right. Yeah, great.
Jesus, dude, get a hold
that
of yourself.
Parade is
people
the
are in
worst.
costumes down there.
The Beatles tried to tell you the games people play, and that's all it is. That's all it is. It's a game. It's a cruel, vicious game.
This guy loves his Beatles.
He sure does.
The Beatles try to tell you the games people play. What song is that?
It's not a song.
It's not a. I know there is a song the games people play, but it's not the Beatles.
It's like Paul McCartney say, 2 legs is overrated.
Wow.
That people play, and if you like it, obviously most people do, that's up to you. But I'm one of them that are not crazy about any of it.
Are you gonna be hitting the polls? Are you gonna be hitting the polls this Tuesday?
Say it a little slower. Voting this Tuesday. Voting. Don't make me laugh. Wallace.
Governor Wallace?
The racist Wallace. I hate to think that I agree with a racist, but in his latter years, he said there ain't a damn bit of difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. You got a capitalist Republican, you got a capitalist Democrat.
Capitalist.
They call that a two-party system. If you had a socialist Democrat and a capitalist Republican, then that would be a two-party system, wouldn't it?
Did Wallace really say that?
You got one rich man running against another rich man, and they both claim to be interested in poor people. Now, who's kidding who? I don't know, man. All right, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, you guys had enough with him.
Lady McDonald's, Big Mac at your feet. It's like the Beatles sang.
This is when we were getting surrounded by 4 or 5 of the
gangbangers?
Yes.
Yeah, toughs, young toughs.
What did they say when they approached you?
They were just surrounding us and looking menacing, so we thought we were in trouble.
Well, I gave the homeless guy $1 for his time.
Oh, there you go. You paid him.
But then, of course, all those other guys wanted $1 too.
Oh man!
All right, so what happened? That was the
Did you
homeless.
give him one?
That was the homeless guy, and then the homies surrounded you guys because they thought you were treating him bad.
Yeah, they thought we were messing with him.
They thought you were dressed as Reginald Denny for Halloween, and they were going to cave your skull in.
Because they're always so good to the homeless people in the ghetto, you know, and they're not setting them on fire.
Here we go.
Make sure y'all put this on the radio. All right? What's it? XM Satellite?
That's right, XM Satellite. Is it on right now? All right. It's taping right now? Yo, what's poppin', homie? It's a Cash family, right? You hear me? It's a Cash affair, nigga. We about to take all the millions, you hear me? Straight out of fucking Brooklyn.
Oh, Jesus.
Hope it. Hope you can put your arms down.
All I got to say to XM Satellite is suck my dick, because they ain't give me no money.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
Oh my God! I'm petrified.
I actually agree with him.
I bowed. I bowed to the interns today.
Oh my
You
God!
survived that?
That is frightening.
That has to be a promo. Give that to Steve to make a
See
promo.
how scary and intimidating that is?
Yo, nigga, there's 2 buckets. One with shit you can control.
And one where you gotta put your change.
One bucket with the shit we stole, and one empty bucket with the shit we bought.
Wow.
I'm desperately trying to remember the tank cheat code at this point, just surrounded by men in do-rag.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Where's the shovel when you need it?
Here's more of the homeboys.
We owning millions, man. You hear me? You about to show soon.
Yo, it's your boy Gaddafi, representing the state team, Cash Up.
Gaddafi!
You in the street, Brooklyn.
Cash pimps. Y'all gonna hear from us when we're on TV soon.
We giving a big shout out.
You hear me?
We giving a big shout out to XM Radio.
Holla at your boy. Acer, baby. Cash up. We get that bitch nigga stop pushing me. Fuck you, bitch.
Yo, we want to give a big shout out to XM Radio, Cash Up, all day, every day. Shout out to my nigga Benny, you know, come home soon, nigga. We love you, nigga.
Soon, nigga. Come home soon. That can only mean.
I bet he's away at college. I bet he's at university.
Yeah, he'll be home for the Thanksgiving break.
Oh my God!
Have a little turkey. Holy
That is
God.
the soundtrack of what you hear before you're stabbed or shot. Right there. Yo, my nigga.
I bet
Oh,
you that guy's job interview didn't go too well.
XM202, the Opie and Anthony Show.
Let's go back to this and see if this works. Then we can play more audio from the Halloween parade.
Yo, make sure y'all put this on the radio. All right? What's it? XM Satellite?
That's right, XM Satellite.
Is it on right now? No, it'll be taped. All right. It's taping right now? Yo, what's poppin', homie? It's Cash family right here, you hear me? It's a Cash affair, nigga. We about to take all the millions, you hear me? Straight out of fucking Brooklyn, Crown Heights. Feel me? Know what I mean? Feel me? Cash up, nigga. To all my niggas in the P now, right now. My nigga Bubby, Hoggy, all them niggas right now. Bubby, Bubby. We doing it out here, nigga. We about to take all the millions, you hear me? Acer, baby, Acer.
All I got to say to XM Satellite is suck my dick, cause they ain't give me no money.
And we owning millions, man. You hear me? You about to show soon.
Yo, it's your boy Gaddafi, representing the Steve Team, Cash Up, all day, every day. You in your street, Brooklyn.
Cash pimps. Y'all gonna hear from us when we're on TV soon.
We give it a big shout out.
You hear me?
We give it a big shout out to XM Radio.
Holla at your boy. Acer, baby. Cash up.
Man, hold up. Give it a big.
We get that bitch nigga stop pushing me. Fuck you, bitch.
out of here. You want to shine? You want to take up all the show spotlight?
What's up, man?
Yo, we want to give a big shout out to XM Radio, Cash Up, all day, every day.
Shout out to my nigga Benny, you know, come home soon, nigga. We love you, nigga.
Right? Does that sound like an SNL bit? That sounds like that wasn't real.
That's hysterical.
Come
Bubby.
home soon.
Yo,
Well-
man, I want to shout out to Bubby.
Well.
Did you think Bubby was stealing a unit out of our car and going, "Hey, that's me, motherfucker"? Hey, hello, man.
I like the one guy who's serious, like, yo, no, for real, a shout out to XM, the guy who's
Yeah.
like really auditioning
No, for real.
Yeah, for real.
You feeling me? Cash money. Wow, that was like hardcore. That's the real deal, Opie. Right from the streets of New York. Brooklyn, Crown Heights, you feeling me? I'm feeling fear, is what I was feeling. Just listening to that. It's all about the Benjamins, Opie. Did you notice that?
I heard
Big
that
money, the
loud
whole
and clear.
money thing, cash.
I do believe it's called cheddar.
Probably 3-5 years ago it was called cheddar.
Well,
I'm
what-
sure there's a much
that's right.
different name for it now.
Oh, really? Well, Earl will let us know.
Yeah, they're sparkling pillars of the neighborhood, Opie. But yes, it is still cheddar.
It is cheddar?
Still cheddar.
You're taking Earl's word for it?
Yeah.
All right, Earl, so why did
Earl
you call
still
back?
uses honky.
Well, going back to the garden thing, it's insane to walk out on any crowd at the garden.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you got 20,000 black people congregated in one place to see you, and then you walk away.
Would one of the acts from the Black Rock Coalition have walked off stage, Earl?
No, you
And what act would that have been?
what act would that?
Living Color?
Right, yeah, Living Color, who are actually on tour right now.
You do realize that you make Al Roker look like old dirty bastard, don't you, Earl?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's too early in the morning.
Earl, did you dress up for Halloween?
No, I did not.
What would an Earl dress up as for Halloween?
Would you paint your face green?
Black Shrek.
Yeah, you're definitely the Black Shrek.
No, I did not dress up for Halloween.
No?
No, not at all.
You didn't come to my door and swipe half my candy, did you?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I thought he was a little short for that, Earl.
All right, Earl. Thanks for the fake laughing. It's wonderful.
No, I'm
really
not
working.
fake laughing.
Oh, we're just so funny, right?
Oh,
we're
it's
so
funny.
funny. You had to just kind of give that chuckle.
Earl, what do you think the real problem between R. Kelly and Jay-Z is?
Jealousy.
What's that?
Jealousy.
Well, what do you think? Is it jealousy over career moves, or is it jealousy over shaking papers, or is it jealousy over fan adoration? What do you think the root of the problem is besides jealousy over what?
I think.
I love setting him up and knocking him down. That's so funny. Well, I think after careful consideration of the
Oh, he's still going.
Of course he is.
All right, we got more Halloween audio, Anthony.
That's what I want to hear.
So, what was the setup again? Because I got to read this thing here for a second.
Set up for what, Halloween audio?
Yeah.
We sent a couple of our luscious interns into the belly of the beast, the gayest collection of gays in all gaydom, Halloween, the Halloween parade down in the village, which is just the worst. I went last year. You can't see anything. Like, I was hoping to maybe catch the freak show, you know, that you hear about and see on
hoping to
TV.
see some sea-sucking?
Sea-sucking, AFing, all of it, all the good stuff.
A monster rain float.
You know, all that fun stuff. No, it was just, you know, I live so close, you figure it's the big thing on Halloween. It's a freak show. You want to go down there and check it out. So I finally go down there. You don't see anything. You see the backs of people's heads. It's nothing. It's awful. You got to be on a rooftop to see anything.
What you do is you walk to McDougal Street after, and you see, like,
Yeah.
on Saturday night, just after the parade, that's where...
Well, that's what I saw walking away from the parade. At the parade, you don't see anything. You can't even see the parade. It's better to watch it on some stupid TV show.
I was listening to Danny's audio, I think you're going to play. He went in front of the Duplex, which is like probably the biggest gay bar in the West Village. So he's got some
Who's
funny
Danny?
shit. One of our interns.
Oh.
You like walk in the door and you're like, whoa, slipping on sperms just in the doorway. You're like, whoa, that's slippery. That's a little slick.
And when they do that, they try to spin around so they can land face first. What are you doing? Breaking my fall with my mouth?
Jesus. All right, so we got audio of Christina and Joan Crawford here. What?
Oh, Tina and Joan Crawford were at the parade?
Yes. Here we go.
Tina!
Interview. Get over here.
XM
For
Satellite Radio.
publicity.
Oh,
How
are you guys tonight?
Fabulous.
What do you got? What's your name, man?
My name is Christina Crawford, and this is my mommy. She's my dearest. Miss Joan Crawford. If you're nasty.
Gotcha. So you having fun at the parade tonight?
Are we having fun at the parade? Well, she's beaten me about 12 times. I've fallen
rotten
down.
adopted child. She
Yeah.
doesn't listen to anything.
She buys me $300 dish rags.
That's awful.
I buy her $300 beautiful gowns, and she treats them like dish rags.
I put them on wire hangers.
No wire hangers.
Oh, Mommy, no! Mommy, no!
I could just imagine what the hell's going on there.
Oh, God.
But just two fruits doing Joan Crawford. That's hack. They're hacky
They're
gay guys.
hack gay guys. That's like doing a Barbara Streisand joke or a Liza gag or something. It's the hackiest thing a gay guy can do.
Two Jews walk into a bar. They turn the stools upside down.
Invited two more friends.
Those guys were hacks.
Christina Crawford will have the last word.
Why won't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
Because, Mommy dearest, I am not one of your fans.
Wonderful. Do you guys like donkey sausage?
That sounds sizable. What do you think, Mommy?
A little tasty.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
So did Mario Cantone look like Mommy Dearest? No?
That's right. Happy Halloween.
I was waiting for one of those fruits to do Cartman.
Opie, the community is calling money paper these days.
Paper. All right.
Paper. It's not cheddar, it's paper.
That's right. I heard that in a Little Kim song.
You did?
I love Little Kim.
Cheddar is out, paper is in.
Paper.
You look Little Kim. You don't like her?
No.
Oh,
she's
trying to turn me on to this Little Kim
like
song.
skanky.
The line about
You were like
how high class she is. She said, "Designer pussy niggas got to spend paper." I like that line.
That's a good line.
It certainly
and
is.
it's so true.
Do we have that song in the booth? Because it's
a great song.
Jim was so excited about this song that he was emailing it to all his friends.
Really?
How many licks? It's phenomenal.
How many licks?
Yeah, but did it take to get? She's just a dirtbag. I love her.
Yeah, she is kind of skanky.
Oh, she's sexy.
She thinks she's hotter than she is. There's some chicks that are like that.
You're right, but you're right. But she
They
can
present themselves as being a lot hotter than they really are.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, but she's just.
You buffoon.
All right, listen.
She
no one gets that. Jesus.
Guess what? I'm trying to say that I
God
like.
help us.
At least the fact that she can rap like a guy, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have it?
They're looking for it.
They're looking for it.
How many licks is called Eric? Eric shaved. He looks rather
All right,
good.
relax. Let's go back to the audio from the Halloween parade in the village. Here's a really stoned queen.
How's everything been tonight? You having fun?
It's good.
It's good.
Oh, boy.
So if you could you describe your costume for the fans at home?
I don't know. It's custom made. It's like jungle sex or something.
Jungle sex.
I guess.
What does that entail exactly, jungle sex? I'm not familiar.
Well, it's like your imagination.
Yeah?
What you want to know.
Okay. Now, are you going to vote on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Who are you voting for, man?
Bush.
Bush? Why?
Because.
Because
Democratic is bad.
Now, have you ever tried any donkey sausage before?
Donkey sausage. I don't know. Like, what is that?
I don't know either. You a big fan of radio?
It's alright.
Who do you listen to on the radio?
I really didn't listen to a lot since I graduated.
Uh-huh. Now, it sounds like you've been having some fun tonight. You've been drinking or anything like that? Having fun?
No.
No? Why not, man? It's party time.
Because.
Why? Oh, that's right.
Of course. I'm conservative.
Those men wanted to have sex with me.
Oh, my God.
Can I lick you? You can lick me anytime.
That was a little weird, huh?
That is really... That is a real gay guy.
That's really stoned.
Really stoned.
That just brought the show
You think it was
down a notch.
ecstasy?
Yes, that was really something bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm thinking heroin.
Yeah,
A little heroin, too?
Little heroin! Let's let's just move on from that one.
Yes.
What are gay guys watching, I do believe. As far as porn goes, I think? That's what they were asking these guys?
Watching everyone's crotch.
Now that Sex and the City is off the air, right? What are gay guys watching on TV?
Porn.
Yes. Other than that, Desperate Housewives. Yes. Queer as Folk. What else? That's about it.
Well, now you mentioned Will and Grace. Oh, of course. Now you mentioned porn. What's your favorite porno movie?
Those cheap $15 compilations.
I need names.
I enjoyed butt slamming backdoor bitches. That's the name. Rear Window, starring Gage.
Frosty butt cunt.
Oh my God! Nice.
Is that Rear Window starring Cage?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
From Whackbag? Good job. Good job.
Photoshop that one.
Oh,
Dick.
Rear Window. That's great. They're watching all the gay movies, Opie, having that gay sex.
That whole talk thing, they all sound the same. It's that weird trying to have a feminine voice and that S thing.
I heard a very interesting theory about that, actually.
You
for Why
did?
they talk like that.
Enlighten me.
Because they're faggots.
Back to the audio.
All right, accept that.
And what's the gay community watching on TV nowadays?
Desperate Housewives.
You know, that's the third guy. Everybody's saying that. What else? Did you like Oz when it was on?
Yes.
What was your favorite part about Oz?
Because it was graphic.
And what did you get to see?
Dick.
Oh.
And what else?
You have to see fucking. Yeah.
Hot guy on guy action.
Yeah. Hot man.
Oh.
What? Hot man.
You can say it. You can get through it. It's okay.
Hot man sex.
3 simple words. I am gay.
Wow. Hot man sex. I feel filthy. I
don't know what bothers me more, the statements or the intern who's obviously leaking clear stuff. No, go ahead. It's okay. You can say it.
Say it.
Please
say it. Just say it.
Say it.
Go. Oh, wow.
Dude, this is gay.
Yeah. Wow.
Just say it. You can say it. You're strong enough.
Yeah.
You're a strong gay man. Say it. Okay, hot gay man sex. Okay, I said it already.
Our little intern's really going above and beyond.
What a fruit cup. Guys, it's all right. Get dirty. Just
say it.
Graphic.
Just
say it.
Say it again and again.
Say it and do it and show
Mm.
All right, we got one more for now.
we
have
have
more audio, though, coming?
Opie.
Yeah, kind of? No? Steve? More audio, possibly?
Opie.
No? All right. What?
I'm reading email from half the audience. Now, half the audience is saying they don't want to hear this. They can now hear it and don't want to.
Yeah, they don't get to hear the homeless guy. They get to hear the gay guys.
Hey, Steve.
I'm sure this is playing very well in the Midwest.
Yeah, oh.
You know, we used to only work. We were pretty much only in some big cities that East Coast a lot.
It was a big East Coast show,
Yeah.
and in general, East Coasters have more of an open mind. You can just imagine what they're thinking in the Midwest.
How is this
down
playing
south,
in Tennessee,
and Alabama,
Arkansas,
Broward County?
Broward County just loves the New York Gay Halloween Parade, and I'm sure they love the audio.
Say it. Just come here. Say it.
Just be dirty. It's all right. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
hot man sex.
He had to be coaxed into saying that?
Yeah. Gently prodded by the svelte intern.
Steve, we have any more audio, or this is about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all the same stuff. Danny really just camped out in front of a gay bar and got 8,000 gay people to
Keep bringing it
sound
on, man. I can't get enough
Really?
of that.
All right, you get more.
You don't get to hear this every day.
Oh.
All right, Dominatrix.
Well, that Danny sure is a tall drink of water, isn't he?
Dominatrix gets spanked in this clip.
We have a dominatrix here who's about to get spanked.
All right.
Wait,
Now go behave yourself.
Can I just get the sound of the whip actually hitting the pleather?
Sure. Watch fair game.
Would he call it pleather? Ugh.
That's right. Okay.
How'd that feel?
That's enough.
That's enough. And by the way, this is happening out in the open on public streets.
Oh, yeah.
On Halloween. Because that's what they do down there.
All right, Steve will get more of this for us as the show goes on.
Dude, they were still out at 4:15 when I was getting my coffee. They were still going into clubs in my neighborhood.
Just say it, Ben, when you were going to bed.
yeah, exactly.
When I was leaving the clubs. When I was staggering home at 4 in the morning when I was supposed to be at work. Jesus.
Say it.
Get a hold of yourself,
Say it, Ben.
Say where you were going, Ben.
Say it.
Say where you were
Say
going.
it.
To get some hot man sex.
We need more. We need more of that audio.
People ice skating home like Hans Christian Andersen on clear stuff on the street. Oh.
Cash up, niggas. All my niggas in the P now, right now. Bubby, Hoggy, Bubby, shoot. We doing it out here, niggas. We about to all the millions. You hear me?
All I got to say to XM satellite is
Suck my dick, cause they ain't give me no money. The Opie and Anthony Show.
XM radio, cash up, all day, everything.
Get that bitch, nigga. Stop pushing me. Fuck you, bitch.
Hi, this is Jim Norton. You're listening to the worst of Opie and Anthony, so put on your laughing hats and teabag a relative.
You have the worst radio voice, though. Funny line, worst radio voice
That's a good radio
ever.
guy voice.
It's awful.
Hey, how are you?
You're listening to the worst of Opie and Anthony. Something like that with a little more bass in your voice.
There is the National Transportation Safety Board. You know, they investigate all the crashes and stuff. They want black box recorders in all new vehicles manufactured in the United States. Now, this would be braking, accelerating, hard cornering, if your seatbelt's on, airbag deployment, things like that. And I read this, and a lot of privacy experts are now saying, wait a minute, I don't like this. And then I'm reading further. These black box recorders have been fitted into every General Motors car in its 2004 line. It's already in these cars. I own one. I'm reading this last night thinking, I don't think I want this. They're saying that a lot of these have already been used to determine guilt in criminal and civil cases across the country. You're driving your car. You say, well, you know, I jammed on the brakes, but I guess it wasn't in time, or this person ran out in front of me. I hit them, injured them. They can now check this black box and see if you did indeed apply the brakes, or if you were cornering too fast, how fast you were going at the time. And it could be used against you in court. And a lot of the people driving around, me included, until last night, I didn't even know this thing was in here.
But if you're not doing anything wrong, why would you care?
Right.
Well,
I hate that argument.
No,
I just
but
don't want people taking a peek into my life at all.
It's, I don't know. You shouldn't have to have this in your car. Is what I'm saying.
But at the worst,
and it shouldn't be put in, and you're uninformed.
Yeah, you should be told that that's...
There's no law that says that they have to even tell you this is in your car.
You're both right. Here's why I say if you're not doing anything wrong. I don't want the government poking the nose in my life, but if you're in court or there's some type of a criminal charge and there's something in your car that can prove you were telling the truth, I mean, that could also work in your favor. If you go, no, that guy sped and I hit the brakes, the other guy goes, he plowed right through the stop sign. Then it says, no, it hit. So it could work both ways.
Yeah.
But if you're in a civil or criminal case, I mean, whatever they can use, they can use. I just don't want it to be used to track for speeding or where you've been.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, but you can't have it, both ways there.
With technology, I think we're getting a lot more of our, a lot of our privacy taken away. Yeah, it looks good on the outside, like the thing you brought up to prove your innocence. That's great. That's a great convenience. Would help you out. Easy Pass is a great convenience, so you don't have to wait at the toll booths. All the security cameras around the city are great.
But the Easy Pass thing is being used in divorce cases as well.
Right. People are saying, where have you been? And they're looking and seeing what Easy Pass toll booths you went through. And they have a printout of where you're going, what time you went through it. And, again, if you're not doing anything wrong kind of thing. But it's just more government in your life and kind of on to what you're doing, where you are. Everyone has the cell phones now that can be locators. You know, you could if you call 911 and you're injured, they can locate where you are by your cell phone. Sounds good. Again, this could help you out in an emergency, but it's kind of creepy. And I don't even have a good reason for it. I'm not like, I don't like it because. Right. You know, like you said, if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't worry about it. But there's just something creepy about there being so much knowledge out there as to what you're doing, where you are, how fast you're going, what time you're leaving, where you're walking, where you're banking. There's just...
It comes down to how much you trust the government, I think. Because it sounds like all well and good, but we all have that paranoia about the government in the back of our heads. It's like, when does all this technology turn against us.
Right, in some bad science fiction movie.
Like 1984 or
something.
something.
Yeah, it turns
you know?
and all of a sudden it's just used against
I think that's
you.
what it comes down to. Like, yeah, sure, I mean, we're not doing anything wrong, but you're just wondering.
It's presented to us as a convenience, as a great convenience. Easy Pass is a great convenience. But there are these side effects of it that make you think, wow, you know, they do know how fast I'm going between when I get on the Parkway and when I'm exiting.
Yeah.
Based on the Easy Pass, they absolutely know what my average speed was.
And they can now do the math very easily, and then all of a sudden they just pass a law like, you know what, everyone that's speeding through the Easy Pass lane, not even through the Easy Pass lanes, but speeding on the highway, we're just going to start mailing you tickets.
We're going to start mailing you tickets.
Then what people can do, by the way, if you're cheating, is they give you a pouch with Easy Pass. You can slip your Easy Pass into it. It doesn't register. So that little pouch you get, if you're cheating and you don't want to get caught with your Easy Pass, well, use your head and just pay for the toll when you're going somewhere you shouldn't be. You don't have to. Yeah, there's a pouch that comes with it.
There's a little metallic, like a Mylar
Absolutely.
thing. Absolutely.
And look, technically...
Well, that makes me feel a little better. I had no idea, because I pretty much don't drive my car anymore.
Don't think that, though. You know?
Well, their argument is that, like, well, they could track you with speeding, which I don't want, because I speed. But technically, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a law. They're saying we can track you doing something illegal. Well, if you're not doing anything illegal, I'm not playing devil's advocate because I don't want to get caught speeding either.
Yeah, but the illegal speeding thing is so stupid because, you know, they have these speed limits down to a level so they can catch you and so they can, it's a revenue stream, man. That's all it is. Still, I can't believe there's still highways where you can only drive 55 miles an hour.
That's ridiculous.
Stop it.
And the only reason is so they could, you know, pull you over and make money. That's it.
I agree with that.
Most people could easily drive 70 miles an hour on most of these highways without
the cars
a problem.
are safer. They can handle speeds a lot better.
But that's what it's all about.
And you get something like OnStar. You know, the General Motors cars have OnStar. Another thing that's very convenient, you hit that button, and one time I hit it, we wanted to know where a Denny's was. And they're like, all right, you go down the road, I'll feed the directions to you. And it's very convenient. But it was kind of creepy hitting it and setting up the OnStar. And they're going, okay, so right now you're northbound on 95 by exit. And you're like, you know exactly where I am.
That's great.
It really is.
If you're
cool.
broken down or something, you can just call and go.
Oh yeah, you just hit the button and they know where you are. They send somebody to come and help you.
They could just unlock your doors too.
But the thought that they know where you are and that information, who knows, you know, where it could go in the future, under what circumstances.
Right.
Again, I'm not a criminal, so, you know, show me where the Denny's is and I'm fine.
No, but that's the point I'm trying to make here is, what is it going to be used for in the future that we don't know about?
If down the line your political ideology makes you some kind of criminal of the state, there's going to be these things that are built into just basic daily activities that are going to make it very hard for people to kind of defend their freedoms and their privacy.
But with every technology, there comes that fear that it's going to be used. Like if you go back, I'm not saying it never is, but look at the phone. There may have been people when people first started talking on the phone that said, well, now, whoa, the government's going to know when you and I have spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always a backlash from technology.
And they have used it for criminal investigations.
Criminal investigation,
bugging, and, you know, is it really that criminal? They bugged, John Lennon's phone. So...
Just because something can be perverted, like that's like saying, well, we have jails, but because the criminal system can be perverted, we shouldn't have jails because innocent people are going to go to jail. Of course you have to have jails. That's sickening that they bug them.
And believe me, I'm playing devil's advocate, too, because I don't want to come off sounding like that nut from yesterday, all paranoid about the government.
I talked to him, by the way, online. We emailed.
You did?
I like him now.
How do you spell fucking scumbag spell? I wanted to get it out so fast. Eager to please.
That's all right. You're Swedish. How do you spell?
How does one spell cork soccer?
You were so sexy in Trading Places.
Oh, shut up.
You should have brought that conversation in. You should have brought that conversation in.
No. We didn't IM. We emailed back and forth. He was sending me some stuff.
Oh, all right.
And it was actually, I like him now. I still didn't like what he said, but yeah, he sent me some interesting stuff. And
what? Monster rain coming.
All right, well, Anthony, we got a lot of people on the phones that want to talk about this.
Oh, really?
I think.
Let's track them.
All right. Hi, who's this?
I'm sure we do.
Hello.
Danny.
Hey, Danny. What do you have for the show today?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, is Anthony's OnStar, does it tell him which driveways to drive over and front yards and mailboxes to knock over to get to the quickest Denny's?
Yeah. My navigation system lets me know by the way I drive. Median strips on the Belt Parkway are included. One way down the one-way streets the wrong way. It's great.
That's too funny. Hey, I wanted to tell Jimmy Norton, my girlfriend squirts too, man. The first time, it was like our first date. I went out and spent $100 on a nice pair of pants, and we're kind of like going at it. She's like humping my leg, and she goes, "Oh, we got to stop." I'm like, "No, keep going." And next thing I know, my pants are soaked, my shoes.
Money well spent, sir. How hot is that?
It
Her
was-
body
I didn't
can't deny how turned on she is. How sexy is that?
See, we try to do like above the table break, but we don't know what these guys want to talk about.
No,
so
we don't.
look, we get
That's all
thrown
right.
right back in the gutter.
That's
but,
all right.
But still a good story.
Thank you, buddy.
All right,
A
man.
fine story.
I want to comment to
Heather.
Spencer from New York City. He says, then don't get and sign up for fucking Easy Pass.
Yes, good
You
point.
have a fucking choice,
Yep.
idiots.
No,
Let me comment.
We could talk about New York City and the surrounding area. You don't
Yeah.
really have a choice anymore.
You
'Cause
don't
they're-
have a
They're
choice.
making it very, very hard for you not to have it.
As they should.
It's okay. Don't sign up for it. I'm not going to sit there in a half-hour line
Because they don't have enough
to pay cash.
Yeah, they don't have enough toll booths dedicated to cash anymore.
Yeah.
Because they want everyone to just get Easy Pass.
They have too
That's
many.
their initial goal: is everyone has Easy Pass.
Right. There shouldn't be gates at the tolls. There shouldn't be anything. It should be set up that you're just driving down the highway like you're normally driving.
But you don't really have a choice.
You don't have a choice, especially in New York. It would take you hours to get somewhere that takes you minutes if you didn't have Easy Pass. It's not, yeah, you do have a choice. I could get it or not get it. But it's too convenient to have. That's what I said. They present it, people have presented things as a huge convenience. And you realize that there's these little side issues that later may bite you in the ass.
But
That's what
it
I'm
is-
saying.
It is like there's nothing that makes me happier than when I'm driving and I see all those people in the cash lanes.
Oh, and you
why
whiz
would
right by
it's
'em waving.
phenomenal.
Oh, I love it. You
Government-
wave. Hi.
You want to track me? You put Easy Pass trackers down by the meatpacking district and watch me look at trannies. I don't care.
I'm there.
My life stinks. You can track it if you want.
Do you see all the people that are going through the toll
And I don't
booth?
pay my taxes. Wait, that won't come back to haunt me.
What an ass.
Idiot to say that on the radio.
You see the people that go through the Easy Pass lane, especially in Jersey, because in New York they have the stupid gates that come down. You got to wait for them to go up. In Jersey, there's no gates. There's a little light that says Easy Pass, and it's green, or it says call Easy Pass in red if it didn't register.
Yeah.
They pull up and stop and wait for that light. I like flying through there at about 30, you know? And you get people in front of you, they feel like they have to wait for that light to come on. Like if the green light doesn't come on, there's going to be an O.J. Chase behind them to try to arrest them for not registering.
No, they just mail a ticket to you.
They mail a thing
No,
that says...
that's what happened to me, and it drove me nuts.
Well, you didn't have Easy Pass.
No, I didn't. But it's
So-
another.
so you probably...
No, I know. It's another thing, though. It's like the 35-cent toll on the Jersey Turnpike. Parkway. Thank you. I don't know. I'm a Long Island guy. So I threw my change into the basket, and it turned green, and I went.
Yeah.
That's what I thought anyway. I get a ticket in the mail for $25.35 because they're
Wait, it was a 35-cent toll.
and a $25 service charge or office fee type of thing.
For them to take 35
Yeah,
cents,
yeah.
it costs $25. That's
Dude.
why the government's broke.
This happened twice, on the way to see my brother and his new baby, and
Yeah.
on the way back from seeing my brother and his new baby. So I get in the mail, it has my license plate, it took my picture, and it says that you owe $25.35. For what? They're claiming that I'm blowing off 35-cent tolls.
I bet you are.
No.
I've gone out to lunch with you. I bet you are.
Oh, dude, relax with that. You want to see my... I'm bringing in my American Express bill, because I'm not going to take the cheap rap anymore. I'm buying dinner.
Bring in
and-
your bill.
I'm buying dinner and lunch for everybody on this show these days.
Really?
I'm not, and breakfast. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
Bring in the Amex bill.
You want me to?
We'll take a look.
No problem.
I'd like to see that.
No problem. So, yeah, so they got me for $25 and 35 cents. I'm like, so I call them up. I'm like, I'm not blowing off 35-cent tolls.
Yeah, why would you blow off a 35-cent toll?
No, you think you're going to get away with it, and of course there's going to be some ridiculous fee if you blow it off. So then I pay that one, and then another one comes in the mail, and I call them up screaming and yelling, like, what are you doing? I paid this. Because it wasn't even worth it, arguing over, really, so I just paid it. But then I got another one. They're like, no, you blew it off twice in one day. And then I lost it. So then you know what they do? They're like, all right, calm down. We are getting a lot of complaints at this particular toll plaza. I guess it's not obvious what you have
Then
to
you
do or
shouldn't
something.
have to pay any of them.
So she goes, calm down, all right. You paid the first one. We'll let you off. She's letting me off the hook. We'll let you off the hook on the second one. But know what she says? You still have to pay the 35-cent toll.
Say, no, I paid it.
No, they got me breaking the law. So it was $25.35. So like we'll take off the office fee charge or whatever, but you still have to pay the toll. I'm like, you're kidding me. Why don't you take the 35 cents out from the other one that I just paid you?
Yeah, the other one that I wasn't
So you
supposed
ready?
to pay.
I had to make a check out for 35 cents.
Great.
How stupid is that?
You know, it cost them more to cash that 35-cent
Yeah.
check than 35 cents.
I'm like, you got the computer there. Just wipe it out.
I don't know how you survive without Easy Pass.
I'm not driving anymore.
I
live in the
don't understand. Well, when you drive, you're driving like long distances, though.
No, man. I
you drive up to Boston every so often, or
Not-
you drive to Philly,
Anthony,
or
since we started this job, I've been in my car 3 times. It's
I don't
just
know.
sitting.
To me, it's worth it.
It's just sitting right now. I live in the city full time. I go out to the island every once in a while to see family, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Easy Pass don't cost you anything.
But I'm not. I take the 59th Street Bridge over. This means nothing to anyone else in the country.
Free.
But well, just because it's the easiest way
Right.
to get in for
The
me,
free bridge.
and where I live and all that. So whatever.
Oh, it's the worst, though. There's nothing worse than sitting in Ope's truck and you see everybody whizzing by.
Whizzing by.
And you two are sitting there like two old ladies.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, are you going to get Easy Pass? He's like, nah, I know. I just don't drive that much.
Jockeying for position. It's worth it if you drive once and have
No,
to
you're
sit
right.
at that goddamn
You're right.
toll.
When we do have to take the ride to Boston or down to Philly or Washington, you're right. But it's kind of
Yeah,
rare
what does
these
Boston
days.
call it? What does Mass call it?
The fast lane.
Fast lane.
Fast lane.
But you can go
Easy
flying
Pass
through.
sucks. Easy Pass sucks. Do they chant that up there in Boston?
Dude, you can go flying through the Boston ones.
I know, that I like.
Yeah.
Jersey's another one. They got the one. And now the newest ones are just this big thing. It looks like the things they hang the big signs on.
Yeah.
It has the sensors on it. You could fly through there, and there's still jerk-offs that slow down.
Yes, Steve?
Just go.
Big Kev's on line 11. He's got an interesting trick on how to beat the New Jersey Parkway tolls.
I did hear this.
What does he
once.
do? He plays silly songs from freaking Broadway shows?
Close.
Distracting the toll takers.
Right.
Eric and I witnessed this on the way back from Boston, actually. It's, I mean, to gyp the Parkway at 35 cents seems like an awful lot of effort, but...
All right, well...
What song does he have? The Parkway is for tolls. The Parkway is for tolls.
Parkway is for tolls.
Big
Kev.
That was Eric, not me.
Now, how do you beat these tolls?
There's if you get it, when New Jersey first instituted the cameras on the tolls.
Yeah, they take a picture of your license plate.
Right. Well, they can't do it anymore in the exact change lanes because you can, when you go to court, you have to confront your accuser.
Uh-huh.
And that would be a machine.
And they can't produce the machine, so therefore your case is dismissed.
So you go through the exact change lane.
Right.
And you don't pay.
I don't pay. I've never paid a New Jersey toll in my life.
But you have to go to
You live in Jersey.
But you have to go to court a lot.
No, he's saying they can't put the cameras there anymore.
They stopped taking the pictures in the exact change lanes. They only do it in Easy Pass lanes. Because when you sign up for Easy Pass, you sign away that loophole in the law.
Oh, all right.
Hey,
look at you saving 35 cents.
35 cents.
By the way, Florentine used to do that. He would pull up and just fake like he was throwing.
Why would he fake
Dude, it was the worst acting I've ever seen. You should have seen Peter O'Florentine driving down the highway, fake throwing quarters. Oh, he would roll the window down, his hand would come out. And my friend Kenny used to deliver newspapers. And Kev, you may know this trick. He knew how to get out of the turnpike tolls, which can add up, where he would jump off like exit 8A, and there's another one where you can just go into the rest area and sneak out the back behind a fence.
Really?
Yeah.
Back by where the truckers are getting their blowjobs.
Yeah, and where the lot lizards are. My friend Kenny is driving with a stupid car full of newspapers, sneaking out of an 80-cent toll. Chiseler psychopath.
80 cents. All right, Big Kev.
All
Thank
right,
you.
go through the
Bye,
exact
sweetie.
change lane. There you go.
But see, they count on people paying the tolls.
Yeah.
They count on people not going through the bother of going to court to try to fight this stuff. So, they're making their money with the $25 freaking office fee and all that.
And the reason you have any stupid tolls there is because of the unions, because they would fire
I know.
all of them and just go, look, beat it. But no, hey, you got to have a certain amount of people there for the union.
You could have a monkey taking the
They
coins.
do.
Why are you screaming today?
And just put,
I don't know.
just if everyone had the Easy
Can I
Pass,
scream? Yeah.
you wouldn't need the personnel there. It'd be a lot cheaper. Rip down the toll booths. Rip down the toll booths, Jimmy. I didn't mean to yell. Sorry.
The Opie and Anthony Show. XM202.
Boss, what's going on?
What's happening?
Wrong ring. I need one ring on this.
Whoa.
Sweetie. Hi, Rich.
That was
Listen,
hilarious.
I know. Don't laugh too hard.
What? All right. What's the problem now?
How's Bonnie?
She's great. She's in. Actually, she's on her way to Canada this morning.
You guys have kind of a long-distance relationship sometimes, don't you?
Well, she went back to Los Angeles last week. Yeah.
Last week? Are you allowed to see other people?
What, other girls?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Who would do that?
I just don't know because I don't know what kind of relationship you guys have because sometimes you don't see each other for a while and you're great distances apart and I don't know. Maybe you have an arrangement.
No. She said to me, she goes that I can tell my friends that I hit her so they don't think I'm pussy whipped.
Yeah.
She goes, if you want to tell your friends, you know, she's so funny. She wrote a joke last night. She goes, just because I don't know my left from my right doesn't mean I should be raped. That's
a great woman joke.
That's a cute little joke.
Isn't that a good one?
Oh,
that is a good one.
Like a typical female comic.
I like women that do rape jokes. I got to be honest. That just makes me happy.
Very funny.
All right. You don't have Easy Pass, Rich?
No.
He's another one. Now, Rich, unlike Opie, Rich drives a lot. And what, you sit in those cash lanes?
What's the difference? So you go through the lane a minute quicker.
A minute?
A minute? No, Rich, no.
Where are you, East Bumfuck? You're here in New York City where the toll lines last a half hour sometimes.
No, do you think the toll line at the Lincoln Tunnel, once you go through the Easy Pass, is just clear right through the toll? It's still backed up.
No, but you'll save yourself 15 minutes. I used to commute in every day. I'm trying not to yell. I used to commute in every day.
Yeah, I know. When you left your parents' house, okay, where you lived, and you went to a gig.
No, I lived in no. I lived in with Florentine in Jersey.
Oh,
I would commute in every day, and I would fly through the toll. And I don't understand. It was guys like you sitting there in their cars listening to their awful Tom Waits music, and that's why there was traffic buildup.
No. Are you out of your mind?
No.
First of all, do you know that Easy Pass that they can keep a record of how fast you go from point A to point B?
We were discussing
I'm so glad
that.
you got your XM satellite radio hooked up.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Jesus.
First of all, I'd like to get a deal on that. One of the reasons I don't have Easy Pass is too much paperwork. Like I got the paperwork, and it's like they want a whole history of your life. It's too much stuff to fill out.
Too much.
Hi, Rich, it's Bonnie. Hi. I got a new joke. Just because I don't know my left from my right doesn't mean I should have to fuck Rich Voss.
Oopsie.
So,
how much?
He's laughing so hard he's going to start coughing. Jesus. It's time to get rid of that cigarette habit of yours.
How much paperwork is Easy Pass?
Name, address.
No, it was like a bunch of stuff. But that's not why there's traffic, because the people that don't have Easy Pass.
That alleviates traffic, so it is partially a huge contributor.
Your fault.
And it also, it also alleviates people's jobs and stuff.
Good.
They're not people. They're savage.
Nasty toll takers.
Vicious.
All right. Well, no, we don't want to listen anymore, actually. This is going nowhere.
What do you mean? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be funny because I don't have Easy Pass?
Well, I don't even know why we have you on the phone, to be honest.
I think Rich, you don't have Easy Pass and go. Funny, come on.
Jesus.
When I tag you on the shoulder, make like you don't have Easy Pass.
Yeah.
Okay, can we have an occupation? All right, a doctor. A doctor without Easy Pass. Go.
Go.
Oh, man.
I'll admit, you're in a bad spot here.
Yeah, so what am I doing? I mean,
We're not blaming you. I mean, casually, Norton goes, I bet you Voss doesn't have Easy Pass. So
Anthony said Voss.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
during the commercial break, Ben
wouldn't.
decides to get you on the line, and this is nothing.
Well, I know. All of a sudden now I'm Robert Kelly.
No, Robert Kelly, he's been funny.
Was he?
No, he actually had a great appearance on our show.
Yes,
he did.
He will be invited back.
That's good.
As well as you, Rich.
I will. Oh, guess what?
What, Rich?
Oh, he got us. Shit.
I can't believe I just got gotten by
No,
that
but it's
dummy.
You got gotten by Rich?
I think he actually had something to say, and then we said, "Oh, you got us," and he goes, "Oh, this is a good idea. I'm going to hang up now."
Too much paperwork for Easy Pass.
That's it for the worst of Opie and Anthony.
Golly gosh.
Catch Opie and Anthony live Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific, with replays throughout the day. Want more? Go to opieandanthony.com.